nobody coming to see you. Ain't nobody coming to see you. Ain't nobody coming to see you. Ain't nobody coming to see you.
You know, this revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First, you tell us that it is manly to keep your word, right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all of the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground, that we will match you and we will override you.
Bring that down, fam. Just bring that down. I got a couple people in here, and I don't know if y'all can hear that music or not, but if you are hearing it, geez, it sounds like it slowed down and it sped up. Sound like I was playing a 45, then I was playing a 33 and a third, then I was playing a 78. I don't know exactly what's going on. So I'm gonna go on and let this drop. See if the elder can get in here and rock.
It's coming. We're going to get it. We fought every one of your damn lousy wars, lady, and you give us nothing. Now the war is going to be here, but we're going to be free. Now you kill you want to, but we kill too.
Your ass is next.
Nobody coming to see you.
I just went live, bro. I got to hit you back. All right. Yeah, it's just one of them individuals that just don't watch the stream, so they just don't know I'm here. So it is what it is. But good afternoon. The Villager on Deck is on deck. And this is going to be kind of a different type of stream. What I'm actually going to be doing is playing a playback of a Twitter space that I was in just a little bit ago. I think it was about 3-4 days ago. And it was a really, really good build. It was something that was kind of unique for me because I have not really been in the Twitter spaces or X spaces, or I don't even know what they call them anymore, in quite a while. And I decided to jump in. I think I was a little hot there. Hold on, so let me get my mic right. I don't like when people call me, but I had to take that call. I just had to let him know because, it's just one of the bros who really checks on me out here. So I want to make sure that he knew what I was doing. And when I don't answer the phone, some folks get worried and shit. But I felt like I needed to put this up and talk about this build that we had. Shout out to my people at Social. Let me throw this up here early. It's a new platform that the Villager on Deck is rocking with. We've got to find our way in these spaces out here, y'all, and where your YouTubes and your Facebooks and your Instagrams and your Twitters, they're not as kind to us as they were. I don't think they've ever really been kind to us, but they're not as accepting of our message, and that's a thorough message. Everybody ain't got the same message. I get it. But, when you got a thorough message, they tend to try to minimize it, marginalize it, compartmentalize it. They will ban it. They will shadow ban it. I've proven it several times how they basically knock my videos right in the dirt. And, last week, I guess it was because I had Angela Davis as the thumbnail on my video and they want to call her some type of extremist. And I'm like, okay, maybe back in 1960 something. But, Angela Davis today is about as middle of the road as you're going to get. So are we still looking at images from 50, 60 years ago and calling them threats to American society? Because she was never really a threat to American society, but that's what they made her. And, it was what it was. But I'm working out to get something going on this platform, Social. So if you've got your app out now, whether it be an Android or an iPhone, look up Mighty Networks and then find Social. And if you find Social, then you'll find the Villager. You find the Villager, that means you'll find me. I've been dropping content on there for the last couple weeks. Haven't been putting every stream up there, but I'm gonna start because that's really where we really need to be dwelling. Tried other independent platforms, but they're making it harder and harder to really kind of get your content across the board. So, if I can find just one home where I can get the message out and then I can leave it alone, just walk away, that's what I'm seeking, because I don't really need to be going in several different directions. But what I need to be doing is I need to be heard by the people that need to hear me. And right now, I'm not getting that on the book, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. So, it's time to spread our wings as if we were troop. What's going on, Sister Cynthia, Dr. Cynthia? Hey, Kai Stone, how you doing? This is going to be a live recording, but it's going to be somewhat pre-recorded from a Twitter space. I think you're going to enjoy the build because we had a great build in there. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I think that thing was like 6 hours long, but I am going to play a considerable amount of the end of it because that's really where I came in. And one of the things that I wanted to do, one of the things that I wanted to do was just really have other people feel the build, because a lot of times when you hear about Twitter spaces, you don't hear about a lot of positive stuff. It be a lot of negative stuff. So where I'm at right now is I'm on the positive thing. I'm trying to get with that positive thing, and I'm trying to build with folks who want to build with me. If they don't want to build with me, then fuck them. I don't really have any filter towards that way. If you want to build, let's build. If you don't want to build, then fuck you. That's just kind of where I'm at right now. So we're a little bit after 3:30 East Coast time, wherever you at. So, it is what it is. But yeah, them long spaces, they get real deep sometimes, Sister Cynthia. So it's a real good build. You can go cook your dinner, eat your dinner, and come back. They still be there. You can go to sleep, wake up. They might still be there. But I try to get in where I fit in. I just don't try to make random commentary just to be making random commentary. If there's a part of the conversation that I am meant for, then that's what I am there for. So, I love it. So Absolutely, Kai Stone. Absolutely. So this is absolutely, this is the actual image of the social page of what it looks like. I just took a screenshot of it right before I got up here, but you can see they got everything out there. You know, they got chat rooms, you know, they got the feeds, and you can find people. There's events and things like that. So make sure if you got your app, go to Mighty Networks. You want to go to Mighty Networks and log into Mighty Networks. And within Mighty Networks, there's social, SOXCIAL. SOXCIAL. I'd love to find out that a couple of y'all followed at the end of the stream today. And then, you know, we can continue to move this thing forward amicably. So let me get this screen share up because I'm going to be up here for a minute. Okay. I'm just going to let y'all know right now. I'm going to be up here rocking for a minute and I want to get this building. So let me go ahead and add this to the screen. Okay, so there was a space, and the space said Gabe Piemonte speaks on the Boston budget accusations. Okay, they had a couple of them, I guess. They had a couple of them, and I came in somewhere probably around the 3-hour mark, and then I sat there for a minute, you know, and just listened to some things. And then when the conversation kind of worked its way around to what I'm really into, then I felt like it was time for me to cook. So I tried to get it as close to where I know that I come in, and then we might have a couple minutes before, but it'll give you a little detail of what's actually happening so you can have the intel. So give me one quick second. Let me start it up here.
Jersey, they just shut us out of a meeting. See what I'm saying? Oh, word that happened. You know what I'm saying? Who we know in Jersey, yo?
Can y'all hear that?
Family.
Can y'all hear that?
Get over there, yo. You know what I'm saying? That's what we should be doing. But this is what we be saying. Hey, look, man, it's too much arguing, too much bickering.
Audio.
I don't want to hear none of this stuff, man. I'd rather just not even come up here. I ain't coming in no wrongs. I don't care. You know what I mean? I already done spent a damn near decade with ADOS arguing over in the Facebook groups.
So keep in mind, that's my brother, DJ Sejuan. He is WPI on this Twitter space, and he's speaking right now. So he's kicking the ballistics, and I believe he's about to lead right into when I started speaking. But I just want to make sure that audio is good so I don't have to adjust anything and I can just let it cook. Yes, loud and clear. Appreciate you, Kai Stone. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right, let's let that rock again.
We should be past that shit right now. You know what I mean? Jersey talking about now just studying reparations in New Jersey. Y'all stupid and slow. And the commission ain't even sponsored by the Governor Murphy punk ass. You feel what I'm saying? So y'all just having a conversation amongst yourselves, but that's really Narcan and Cobra on People's Institute, New Jersey Institute of Social Justice. Look them up. Why y'all having a reparations conversation on Zoom and the crowd can't come up and voice their opinion? Now that's much different. You feel what I'm saying? Than what News Todd and I have a Q&A. But they tried to force the same thing. But look who running their meeting. There's a bunch of folks we don't even know where they from. Nobody know y'all people. You know what I'm saying? Nobody know y'all. So at the end of the day, what is the solution moving forward? You already know. Social, SOXCIAL.com, SOXCIAL.com, SOXCIAL.com.
See?
That's our grift for the night. You know what I'm saying? It's free because, you know, I'm just grifting promo right now and shit. You know what I mean? You ain't even got to pay nothing. See that? Come on up, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody made no money off nobody. You know what I mean? But go and push that motherfucking website because that's the wave right now. Tell everybody to come up there because, you know, we about to get the fuck off of this app right here, yo. We shouldn't even be arguing amongst each other over here. All this stuff should have been backdoor, back channel, back everything. You know what I mean? Nobody should know anything about anything. And like I said, I've been saw what was spilling out over here. And all I said, oh, here we go. Maybe about 3-4 days after that, you know what I mean? I got tired of calling me and texting me like, yo, look at this. Niggas saying, yo, do DJ Seg one know about gay grifting $60,000, $80,000, $100,000? Damn, for real? Damn, I'm over here struggling, motherfucker. If that's the fucking case, give me 2,500, Gabe. You know what I'm saying? Right now, nigga.
Word,
you know what I'm saying? Keep it fucking real, man. Motherfuckers ain't getting no money. You know what I'm saying? Shit is dry as hell out in these streets, like Sister Taxation was saying yesterday. Nobody wants to spend no money right now. I don't care if you working just to keep the lights on. You ain't working to actually go out and buy a new car or buy a new pair of J's or hit the club. You ain't got it, yo. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you is working. You penny pinching right now. Look at the grocery store. Everything high as hell. But we over here arguing about what the hell we gonna call ourselves. man, niggas are suffering. You have no fucking clue. It's over with. You know what I mean? And y'all don't have a clue, yo. Real shit. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Village homie. What's good, man?
Was that you? Was that me you called on, brother?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. The Village homie. You know
So, and I've kept the name Peace Family. You know, I really just wanted to listen because I'm so fucking behind on all of this stuff. But I believe you, the brother that just came up in the space, and that's how you know me as the Villager. And I appreciate you. I actually subscribed. I just got to figure out how to move on the site, and we're gonna talk about that on the back channel. We ain't gonna waste nobody's time on that. But I really wanted to share this.
Hey, I just followed you. Check your DM while you're talking, bro.
Bet it up. I really wanted to break this out because I've been down on Twitter for a minute. You know, I went through all the bullshit months and months and months ago with Major and all that shit and all the different stuff dealing with BTP and all them cats, you know, just because I've been rocking with these guys, you know, since the ADOS movement. You just kicked it, you know, we've been arguing on and off this app, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, about names and shit for years. And I just finally fell back. Didn't really fall away from the movement. I just really tried to just regroup and strategize, but I didn't watch most of the arguments. I've watched most of the fights and just chose not to engage in them because they really weren't my fight. But the crazy thing was I started catching screenshots about a week ago, maybe a little bit more now, I guess, because my name was being thrown up in some stuff on this app by some other people who I guess they maybe not in here, or maybe they are in here on their burners. But I guess they were in the space that was held before, but they didn't even come up and talk then. And
shout out to the burner accounts, bootleg gang, you know what I'm saying?
And it's so crazy because here's the situation. I've never got that deep into it where I felt like I couldn't be who I am. And the main reason
run the numbers up.
The main reason that I know my platforms are where they are is because I ain't ever chose to do no goofy shit out here. I mean, I stand on my shit and I speak my truth and I walk away. And one of the things that I guess happened was because I have rocked with BTP and Naheem and all these cats for all these years, you know, I get locked in with certain people talking shit. And then they were like, you know, we're going to get this nigga. We're going to get this nigga. And okay, it's okay. So they came at me. Literally, they weren't coming at me because I'm not on Twitter like that. But I was catching screenshots and getting sent the stuff. And they talking about you over on Twitter. I'm like, how people talking about me and I ain't been on Twitter in weeks? Especially ain't took a mic. Might have got in some chats, but I ain't never took a mic. Anyways, I get in there and one of the dudes is literally from my state here in Michigan. And I guess his name is A-Dub or something like that. I don't know these cats. I don't know people that I just don't know. If I've been rocking with you for a while, if I've been rocking with you for a while, I've been rocking with you. But physically, I've not met 99.9% of these people during this whole reparations movement thing. And one of the things that I didn't understand was, how did my name get locked into something? Well, it was two things. It was because I have rocked with BTP all these years, from the ADOS times all the way up, you know, into the American Freedmen and everything. But we've always stood on the same thing. I mean, we've always been about reparations. It's never been about no goofy shit. I know everybody has some different histories with each other and music and different things like that. I ain't never been on nothing but reparations with these folks. So anyway, they were calling me out because I guess A-Dub, he done followed me enough. And a nigga that follow you like this, I really believe there's some fetish type shit, because he ain't never got on none of my chats. He ain't never talked up my streams. And I know my streams is thorough. I ain't got to worry about my fucking message. I know my message is thorough, whether I get 12 viewers or 1,200, you know, which has been written, you know, but I appreciate your support, brother. I appreciate you coming through when you do come through, because I know you're a busy man. But my thing was, he was on me because of my affiliation with Naheem. And he was on me because I had platformed Gabe when Gabe was running for alderman. And I knew nothing about any of the stuff that's been going on. Truthfully, had no idea
that any of this shit was going on. I don't know nothing about no $60,000. I didn't know nothing about Gabe in Boston. I mean, I think I knew he was originally from Boston because I think we talked about that on the stream. I was going to go back and listen to our build when he was running for alderman just to even really see what we talked about. Because my thing was I had people in the Illinois area. I had people who could probably move a needle a little bit. But, you know, it sounded like people were more or less against him at that point just because he was white. That's where I just felt like people were missing the boat at that point. They were like, but I had no idea that any of this was even jumping off recently. And they went all the way back to the time I platformed Gabe on my stream, you know, and why I did that. Then why I was rocking with Naheem and BTP, why I was doing that. How could I prove that I was a freedman? And once I did that, then they wanted to deflect from that shit and go to some other. And it was just like, wait a minute, nigga. One thing I don't do at 53 is play hopscotch. I don't play hopscotch. I walk briskly. Shit, I don't run, but I walk briskly. And my thing is, it's these types of people that are holding this whole thing back. And I'm not saying they're holding it back because we can't move without them, but these types of obstructionists is, I think, the now word that we use. They hold things back. I'm here in a place called Washtenaw County, about 20 minutes west, about 25 minutes west of Detroit's city limits. And, you know, I'm literally 10 minutes from Wayne County. But I guess this dude, A-Dub, is in Wayne County or Detroit or whatever. So he wanted to keep going at me about why I was in Washtenaw County trying to do work, but not trying to come to Detroit and do work. Now, you got to understand, Wayne County is Wayne County. Washtenaw County is Washtenaw County. Detroit is a city. Detroit is a city. I'm in a county situation where they're trying to talk about reparations, which they're really not trying to talk about reparations. I've already kind of figured it out. But I'm willing to take the L for the team. And if I am selected on this advisory council for reparations, I want to make sure I do one thing, and that's to get all the language straight. That's to get who they're talking about, giving these acts of atonements, you know, county initiatives, all that shit. I want to make sure that's straight, because I don't believe that our county is even financially built to give people. We got about 44,000 black folks, real black folks in this county, but I don't think that they're even financially fit to be able to give any type of real change to this many people, or they're even interested. I think it's a political ploy. We've got big elections coming up in 24, and I think that they're setting all this up for the Democratic Party to make them look good, make it look like that black folks is getting something out here and they ain't gonna do shit. Well, he asked me about Detroit, why I wasn't fucking with Detroit. I said, well, let me tell you this. I can't tell you any reasons other than the reason. This is why I never bounced to Detroit and got involved in any of the task force meetings or whatever. Their first task force meeting, everybody knows who Coleman Young Jr. is, or Coleman Young is. Coleman Young Jr., his son, I'm not going to call him by his government name, I'm going to call him by his name he trades on. So Coleman Young Jr. literally said, when asked, how did he see reparations rolling out in the city of Detroit? He said, I see it rolling out much like HR 40.
All right. So I want to stop that right there. So you can see I got on a roll there, right? I got on a roll there, and I'm gonna keep rocking with it. I'm gonna keep rocking with it in a second. But this is where I was at about 3 o'clock in the morning, y'all. Y'all got to understand, and I'll come up a little bit here, you know, so because I want to stay engaged with the stream. Last week I was supposed to have a hearing. And we've talked a little bit about it, you know, on my streams. I'm supposed to have an expungement hearing, right? And that hearing did not happen. And I found out that hearing was not going to happen the night before, literally the night before. So it threw me off my square enough to the point where my house was a little upset. You know, I was upset. Ray was upset. But, you know, we got kids in the house, you know, baby's here, you know, Natty's here. I really couldn't let the house feel that. So, you know, I kind of internalized a lot of that energy. I had to turn inward because I was ready to straight up break some shit, You know, once you tell me something that I've been waiting for months, really for years to happen, and you tell me basically about 12 hours before it's supposed to happen that it's not going to happen, maybe a little bit more than 12 hours, maybe about 16, 17 hours before it's supposed to happen, and you tell me it's not going to happen, I was a little upset. So this is just all full transparency here. So this right here, this is me right here talking in this Twitter space at about 3 o'clock in the morning. They had been up on this thing for a minute. Like I said, they had been on this thing. I think we looking at like hour 4. So they had been on this thing for a minute, right? They had a space, then they had a follow-up space. And this was the follow-up space. So by the time I got in it, I had laid down for a quick minute because everything was just out. Like I said, I was trying to break something, right? Still having to deal with the baby, still having to deal with family, this, that, and the other, and then woke up, went back down. And when I got up, I had all the power in the world. And I just wanted to kind of do something constructive. It's in the middle of the night. What you gonna do? It's in the middle of the night, right? So I felt like, okay, this might be a time for me to jump in this conversation because I had heard some good building with the folks that were on this stream. Real quick, I'm gonna refresh this thing. I don't know why I'm still looking at myself as a listener on this thing. Hopefully it comes back the right way. I saw it was like 4:05 right when so hopefully it comes back the right way. Is it still in there? I'll go right back to it where it was. But what I'm saying is, it was just one of those situations that I felt like, okay, this is a good time to build at this point and really see exactly where I want to be with this thing. So let me go ahead and get back into this space. And I want to go all the way back up to 4:05, I believe.
Able to put that information.
One quick second. We'll go to 4:05.
Agreed.
Okay.
Because I don't believe he's getting something out here in task force meetings. Literally said,
here we go.
When asked, how did he see reparations rolling out in the city of Detroit? He said, I see it rolling out much like HR 40. That's what he said. It's documented. At that point, I turned the TV off. Like we would walk up and turn the TV off back in the day, well before remotes, well before cable. You just turned the motherfucker off. I turned it off. Then I heard about the first couple task force meetings. They were dumpster fires. And at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm not really fucking with it for 2 reasons. One, I'm a Washtenaw County resident. I'm not a Detroit resident. And 2, they seem to be leaning towards what was put in place originally by Brother John Conyers, our ancestor now. But he wasn't, I think he put that in order the way he put that in order for it to manifest into something real. He didn't want just to study. He didn't want just to study. He didn't want just some handouts. He was looking for real shit, but he had to table it the way he tabled it to try to get it across. And look, he went to a grave with it never being brought out. And they still want to call him the conscience of Congress. So my thing was, let me fall back. Let me see exactly what they're going to do. Maybe I'll move forward. Yeah, I got people still in Detroit. My family, I still got family in Detroit. But I'm not even going at them and saying, how come y'all not getting involved? Because for one, they're extended family, and I ain't never ran no goofy shit by them. If I run business by them, they know it's thorough. I wasn't going to run no goofy shit by him. So I stood back, didn't say nothing. Then all of a sudden, fast forward to just like I said, last week, a couple weeks ago, my name's getting thrown up because people are upset because I done platformed a dude months ago who lost an election, an alderman election. People are upset. I mean, and it's every other day. Somebody's upset at Naheem. People are upset at Naheem, so I get thrown in something. I mean, it just lets me know how far we have to go as a collective to try to get somewhere politically. Because one of the things that I've never, ever seen, and this ain't trying to say I'm trying to live like the whites or anybody else, but find other groups of people, other collectives of people that go at each other like this, where political shit is involved, where they're looking to get something. And I've said this on my stream, brother, and I think you heard You was on one of the streams when I said this. When Spanish speaking motherfuckers got some set asides coming, you don't hear them talking about I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Mexican, I'm Dominican, I'm Guatemalan, I'm El Salvadorian. Them motherfuckers is Latino. When Asians got some set asides and shit coming, you don't hear about the Koreans fighting the Chinese and the Chinese fighting the Japanese and the Japanese fighting the Thais and the Thais fight. You don't hear that shit. They motherfuckers is Asians. When the Arabs and the Chaldeans and all that, the Muslims or whomever, I think Chaldeans are
I kicked out of space, man. Damn, but go ahead though.
I'm sorry. But my thing is when you have these different groups, ethnicities or whatever, when they got shit coming their way, whether it be state funded, federally funded, hell, city, township, don't matter. Them motherfuckers figure out when to stand down and get their shit right. That's what they figure out. They stand down and get their shit right. They don't sit around trying, man, I'm freedman today. I'm a Negro today. I'm an African American today. I'm colored. I'm this. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm a Muslim. Man, they don't do that dumb shit. You want to argue about that? Argue about that in your own time. But if you're trying to move something politically, you better stand up. Because the thing is about Washtenaw County, yeah, there are about 40,000 of us who could probably document that they are of American freedman status. But they're not. Because 35 to 37,000 goes to American. You might get to 1,000 or 2,000 that might say they're freedmen, but most of them gonna say, hell, truthfully, you'll have a lot of them say they colored. The ones that might have got a couple nickels to rub together, I still know some people that say they colored. And I'm talking about the people like the NAACPers out here. Them people will still say they colored.
The boulets.
That boule bourgeoisie. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Once they get a couple nickels, they get a couple nickels to rub together, these motherfuckers will literally go back and say they colored. And I have fought against all that shit all my life. Now I done worked into these 50s, and now I got these young niggas, because I know they had to be young talking shit to me. And I you know, they'd be, we ran him up off the app. You don't run me nowhere, nigga. You might put that mute button on me. That's the only way you can stop me. And then what they do is they do that mute shit to try to break your train of thought. They do that mute shit. And I'm like, y'all can't break me. Every time you mute me, I stop talking. I don't keep talking. I stop talking. I was like, don't you understand? I am built for this more than most motherfuckers who say they built for this. I am a broadcaster by trade, nigga. And how come you keep throwing that nigga shit around? I'm like,
but I love biscuits. I enjoy it.
So y'all can see where I was cooking, right? Y'all see where I was cooking. Y'all see where I was going with this thing. Appreciate y'all sticking with me. So as we was building, you know, this is just me, but we about to have some other people get into the conversation. I ain't gonna run the whole gamut. We about to have some other people come into the conversation and watch how they build. And this is, like I said, this is a great space. I felt like this was a great space. I don't know exactly what was going on 4 hours before, but when I came in, the conversation had turned towards some real positive stuff, and I was looking to get with it. So, you know, I'm cooking right now, but we're gonna have some other people come in and some ladies about to drop in there and really drop some facts. You know, we had an elder, she gonna come in hot, I think, right after me. So let's keep cooking so we can get to the next speaker here on the space.
Like, you know what? I use nigga on everybody. I call Asian motherfucker nigga. I call a white motherfucker nigga. I don't give a fuck. Nigga is not going to be used as a negative term for me. Nigga's just like, hey, dude. Hey, dude. I call a motherfucker, hey, nigga. I don't give a fuck. You know, that's who I am. That's who I'm gonna be, and you can't change that. And when they saw that they couldn't break me, all they did was just kept muting me. And I'm like, why y'all niggas invite me on the stage and you won't let me talk?
They looking for content,
there
bro.
You go.
That's it, man.
Once I figured it out,
Chase gang in the building.
Yeah, once I figured it out, I backed down. But here's the thing: I didn't really want to come in here to preach a whole bunch. But I heard a lot of talking tonight.
Oh no, spit your balls to the choir. You already know.
I heard a whole lot. I came in like right around the end when Naheem was speaking and Brother Fearless was speaking and things like that. And one of the things is, ain't none of these cats ever crossed me. So to get me to try to talk against them is some crazy shit. It's some goofy shit. To get me to even I don't even know what the situation is with Gabe. So to get me to even talk across Gabe, and I don't know what the goof.
Check your inbox. Check your DM. Check your DM real quick.
I definitely will. And I have a problem with, unless the motherfucker crossed me specifically, I probably don't even know what's going on out here. I don't dwell like that. And they had sisters coming across me, and it was so crazy because they was like, damn, maybe they do understand my C's, because they had sisters coming across me, and I've always been one to keep decorum on this app with the sisters. I do that at least. I try to keep, because we got some out-of-pocket, over masculine sisters on this app that really want to try to come at brothers, and I just try to keep my decorum with them. I have all girls. You know, I've got one blended son, but I got all girls. And my thing is, you know,
right.
I just try to keep it.
Mute your mic, brother. Mute your mic.
I try to keep.
He's saying that because she's about to come up. She's about to get into space and you know, give me a piece of her mind. So definitely stay tuned for that. But that's coming up real quick. Hold on a sec.
It's the decorum, but some of these sisters be coming at you sideways, almost knowing like, yeah, he ain't gonna kick back. He ain't gonna kick back. Then they act like you a hoe. No, I will kick back if I feel necessary, if I feel threatened. But it's,
oh, you don't protect black women, Villager. You don't protect black
dog,
women.
they be talking that crazy shit out. Yo, black, you know, oh man, your woman ain't no freedman. Nigga, I'm like, I try to tell motherfuckers, don't worry about her skin tone. Understand that she will cut a smile in your neck, nigga, if you fuck with me, my kids, my grandkids, or anybody around me. She's thorough.
You don't protect black women, news title. You don't protect black women, news title.
and they be on that shit. They be on that goofy shit talking about, I mean, and I just always tell people, don't worry about who I'm horizontal with, nigga. Worry about who I'm vertical with. That's what you need to put that in the atmosphere. Never worry about who I'm horizontal with. Worry about who I'm vertical with. Because if you see me out here vertical with the wrong motherfuckers, check the shit out of me. Let me know. Hey man, that's the wrong way to move. But if you're talking about who I'm horizontal with, nigga, get out my bedroom. Get out my bedroom. That's what people like to do out here, do that goofy shit. Dude told me right here in this county, you can't be about black power. Your woman ain't even black. I'm like, but dog, I don't go to the Dominican Republic to fuck white women like you do. I don't go on vacation. I don't go to strip clubs and fuck white girls like you do. Nigga, yeah, I got beige babies, and my woman's not a freedman. But I've been married to an American freedman, and she almost killed me. Where was y'all niggas then? I had a 12-year relationship with another woman who decimated my family. Where the fuck was y'all then? How come y'all didn't come to my rescue when I had American freedman women on my arm? But now when you see me without one, now you want to say, oh, you can't be about black power. You goddamn right. I can't be about black power, but I'm about American freedman power, motherfucker. How about that? And I ain't up in nobody's church salivating and shit, talking all that crazy shit. But when it comes down to really holding your people down, then you fucking church mouse quiet. Because that's what a lot of these niggas are too. They won't talk reparations in the church. They won't talk it right to their preacher, who's got a 501c3, who getting that tax-free bread out their ass. But he still won't stand up for us. I've walked away from organized religion for that reason. You won't stand up for reparations, although you get tax-free bread from people who fucking got shut-off notices. Eat a dick, nigga. You're not going to talk to me like I'm crazy up here, and you won't even stand up for the very people who feed you and your family. So yeah, for the grifters, for the content creators out here based off of just what we're talking about, fuck y'all. But for the real people out here doing it and trying to move the needle, and we got to move it so methodically out here. I don't like seeing Naheem and Dawn go at each other because I think they're two individual forces in this movement that maybe they just need to sit on the other ends of the fucking table. No, y'all can't sit next to each other at the lunch table. Y'all got to sit at the other ends of the table. You know, if y'all watch them meetings on YouTube, because that's where I'm catching them now. Way back in the day, early 70s with Stokely Carmichael and Reverend Klieg and all them people, Ralph. Watch them meetings and watch how they used to fuck with each other. Them motherfuckers hated each other, but they held them meetings, and we got that documentation today. Right. We got that documentation today.
If it's up to Dawn, she the oracle. She gonna put Naeem at the kitchen table and shit. Dawn the OG.
But I'm gonna come down, family. I appreciate y'all. Hey man, just to make me feel at home and shit, just mute me out. Just mute me out, dog. Just mute me out. Just make me feel at home like normal.
So all right, that was my build. So I built, man, it was like 15 minutes there, right? I was just running. I was just freestyling it, running it, feeling good. Yep. What'd you say there, sis? Yep, some of these folks need mental health intervention. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. And speaking of that, we need to have a phone conversation because I am in the midst of helping someone put a seminar together, and I want to talk to you. So Dr. Cynthia, expect a text from me this evening, probably. It'll probably be this evening because I might be able to get back with him tomorrow just so we can get the wheels turning with what he's trying to put together. And I'll let you know what I'm trying to do. And then, we'll kick it together. So, definitely expect a text tonight and we'll get it popping on that end. So that was really the end of my build. I went 15 minutes strong there, maybe even a little bit more. Just 15 minutes straight freestyling in the space. Now you're about to start to hear some other folks that were in the space, and it's really going to get good, obviously, because you're going to start to hear the diversity. Y'all know I hate that word, diversity. You're going to hear the diversity, and you're going to hear the equity, and you're going to hear the inclusion of everybody else. All right. So let's just kick it and keep going in the space real quick. Just one second.
Nah. It's all good. I try not to mute people in here, whatever the case be. But yeah, with that being said, too, ladies, put your hands down. But if y'all want a high five, I got y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all the high five shit. So whoever want to talk, y'all know this is the late night space. Go ahead. Otherwise, I'm
let me just, Barella, because I know you're gonna be more eloquent than me. But let me just say that I like that man that just spoke. I like what he said. He sounded like a real one to me. When people say that they can get along with people that are doing the work, that's what's real. And to say where they stand and how they stand, that's what's real. And just like he said, the Asians got 5011 names, the white folks got 5011 names, the Italians, everybody got 5011 names, and so do we, but we the only ones arguing about it. We can have 5011 names if we want to. This is still America. And
I'm a nigga, you's a nigga, we some niggas, we the niggas.
we can do that. We can do that. We don't have to fall out behind the name. What we can do is do the work. That's what we can do. The other thing I wanted to say, and I ain't spoke on Gabe, and the reason nobody says anything to me about Gabe is because I was very clear. Very clear. Brother Muko, God bless him, he didn't understand it. Booby from Secure the Tribe, he didn't understand it. And I spoke to both of them in the same space. I don't know which one it was. I don't know if it was recorded. It was a while back. And I told them there is not going to be any white person, man or woman, in my purview, and I'm working on something, and they're in my line of sight that I don't put to work. See? So that's what I said about Gabe. I said it then. I said it to Gabe. I said it in another space. Gabe was there. That's what I do. Because, see, I have to work with my own enemy when I'm on that hill. There's plenty of people I don't want to talk to. Plenty of people I know they're going to try to treat me to the left. They don't want me in their office. They just let me up in there because they know they had to. It's a courtesy.
Facts.
See, and I got the right stuff to be able to get up in there. And I'm never in there for myself. I'm always in there for the greater good.
Absolutely.
You have to do that if you're going to be in politics. You can't look at somebody. You can't say, I'm only going to work with this person and I'm only going to work with that person. You can't do that. You won't last long. And that translates all the way down to the masses. You can't just say, well, I don't like this person because they call themselves this, and they wrong about that because the Constitution says this. And if you knew what this was, then if you knew what happened in the very beginning, then you would understand why I'm saying this, and I can call myself this, but you can't call yourself that. That's juvenile. It's juvenile thinking. It's like first grade, and all of y'all are graduates, not just from high school. Y'all are graduates from college. Y'all know y'all stuff. There's no reason why you all cannot push them white folks over the cliff. There's no reason why you can't do it, except for the fact that it's going to take everybody. And I've said that. There's power in numbers. That's why the Asians got their stuff under the name of Asian. You know how many Asians it is? Different names for Asians. See, and we have to start thinking like that. If just for the sake of reparations, think as a collective and call yourself what you want.
I appreciate you, sister, saying what you said about me. And hopefully I wasn't just catching you in between breaths. Were you coming down right there?
Yeah, I was coming down there. I appreciate what you said because I've been saying same thing for a long time. I've been saying it for years.
I appreciate that. And I'm not going back down the road. I said what I needed to say about Gabe, Naheem, or anybody at that point. What I need to do, I do need to move forward on that same thought. People need to understand, and I will use Detroit as an example. Detroit, we still know as a black city because it's 77% black. But Detroit is not moving for black folks. Detroit is moving for commerce. And Mike Duggan, as the mayor, he was a white man, he's done a lot that has helped black people in the city of Detroit. But I don't believe that Mike Duggan, in his heart of hearts, believes in reparations. Therefore, it's going to get stopped right there. Mary Sheffield, I think she has good intentions. I think that, you know, some of the people that she's working with have good intentions, but I think that they're going to meet real opposition when it comes to running it all the way to the leader of the city, which is Mike Duggan. And my problem with that is you have to know where your allies are. And personally, I think Mike Duggan is for the city of Detroit, but is Mike Duggan a true ally for, and I'm going to use this term, I'll say black people, but is he a real ally for descendants of enslaved people? He might be an ally for black people, but is he an ally for descendants of enslaved people? And where I have a problem with people trying to call me out saying there ain't no black people up in Washtenaw County, well, I think the other 40 some odd thousand people would disagree with you. And we've had to deal with redlining and all types of discrimination and shit like that up here, you know, just like other cities have and other counties have. So for me to try to put something in play in my home county and in my home city of Ann Arbor, Michigan, where I mean, if you think of Washtenaw County, you generally think of Ann Arbor. Then you'll think of Ypsilanti, even though Ypsilanti has always had more black people than Ann Arbor. It's just the way it goes. Ann Arbor has the University of Michigan. So most people think of Ann Arbor when they think of Washtenaw County. And it was one of the most racist and still is one of the most racist cities in the county, if not the state. But we as American freedmen, as black Americans, we have figured out how to maneuver in this motherfucker, and we made hay back in the day. Now we are on the outside looking in, priced out the game, whether it be business-wise, whether it be residential-wise, and now they're trying to do the same shit to our kids, and that's why I'm really jumping back in play, because my grandkids coming up through the K through 12 system. So I got to make sure if they're going to go to this school system, be a part of this school system, we got to start sending shit backward in the area where it was when I was in school and when my mother was in school. Because what they're doing right now is they're trying to freeze us out. And they freeze us out educational-wise. They already done freeze us out residential-wise and business-wise.
Hey, I've been telling the people it's over with. It's over with, bro. We don't see it. It's already over by the time we take that red pill, because you've been wanting to take that blue pill for so long, people.
Yeah.
It's over.
That's my brother DJ Szechuan, and welcome to the space, brother. I just shared on the social page. Thank you for the reminder. I meant to do it right at the beginning, but you know, they're gonna catch it from the live. So whoever comes off the social, hopefully they dip on in here. Let me put a banner up so people can know to like, share, and subscribe the video. Make sure that I've got to add the social site to my subscribe banner. But right now we're going to let this rock, you know, like the video, share the video. You know, we need that out here. Subscribe to all the platforms, whether it be on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, IG, now social. We need everybody's assistance on this. You know, actually had a pretty decent month across all platforms. I got about 6,000 views. You know, didn't really put in a lot of major work in September, but I still, you know, but I still put 12,000 eyes on my video. So I had 6,000 views. Okay, you know, not a whole lot. You know, when you think about it, a lot of these guys get 6,000 views on they stream. You know, they get 6,000 views on a one stream. Well, I don't do it a lot. I don't do it regularly. But what I do is put up a thorough message when I do put it in. So this right here is something where I wanted to get out because it was such a ridiculous build, and it was hosted by News Totter and DJ Szechuan, and he's actually WPI on the Twitter space here up in the top left corner. But I appreciate you coming in, and DJ Szechuan got something to say right there. It's over, and I'm going in on these Newark leaders now. They're arguing over an investor saying they don't want to invest in Newark, and the white ice is cold. Oh yeah, you dealing with that too. You're dealing with that too. I'm dealing with that over here in Washington County. I'm dealing with, in Washington County. So it's all good. But we're going to keep pushing, man. We're going to keep pushing. You keep pushing out there in the deep east. I'll keep pushing here in the Midwest. I know we got some people in the South, and I know we got some people out west. So we keep doing what we do, and we'll get this thing together. So absolutely, brother. That's why I said that the numbers aren't as important, but it's just making sure that the message gets out there more fruitfully. If I can get them same numbers on one platform, I don't need to be on everybody's platform. I need to be on one platform, pushing this message out as much as I can, as fruitfully as I can, so everybody gets in there. Appreciate you, Kai Stone. Appreciate you. So what I'm gonna do here, we're gonna switch gears here. What you saying, Dr. Cynthia? What you saying? What's in my eyes? What you bugging in my eyes for? What's Dr. Cynthia? Because I know you ain't on no buttermilk biscuit stuff. So what you bugging in my eyes for, lady? But yeah, you know, we just doing our thing out here, man, and we just trying to make sure that these messages get right, you know. So we actually have hit where I'm at right now. We actually have hit 420. So you know, if y'all got them, you know, light them up. You know, I've been smoking my vape pen. But you know, it's 420. You can't smoke a vape pen because that's 710. You know, you got to actually smoke something right. So it's 420. So we struck it up for 420. So we celebrating 420 right now with the Twitter space going from a few nights ago with DJ Szechuan, aka WPI. We got a lot of people in the build. So I'm gonna let him kick it back here, and I'm gonna talk on this real quick. But let's get back at this space.
It's too late.
It's too late.
You haven't done the work to realize, like, damn, I'm prepared for the fucking apocalypse.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you should have been watching all the Resident Evil movies to know how to kill a zombie. I can't help you right now. No, no,
flat out.
And that's where, and again, I think that's where the fear mongering has to stop, because it is not in those particular spaces, but that's where Black majority state comes in. And that's the reason why we have the discussions about what it looks like for Black majority states and why it's important for us to actually get a state where we actually have some authority in the legislation, where we have authority in putting people in place who are, you know, going to be our representatives and actually get behind them, run. That is a whole structure that requires people to have organizations, us to actually get into a space where the organizations become like one, like Voltron, and we become a big lobbying conglomerate. That is what the Jews have been doing. But, you know, let me not take my masculine ass and speak on what I know, because my daddy raised me and my mama put that on me. And so having, I can agree with a lot of things you said, but the one thing, again, DJ knows when I hear that those words in regards to Black women or the sisters, how we're overly masculine, I'm going to put a pause on that. Because I want to
come back, y'all. Watch the comeback.
It is a disrespect in a room full of people who come from different walks of life, especially Black women. When it comes to someone saying we're overly masculine, we are actually both. We can move interchangeably in our masculine and feminine energy.
She was in the right car. She was in the right car. She was just playing the wrong tune. But that's okay. That happens a lot. She was in the right car, but she was just playing the wrong tune. But I'm gonna get it right, you know, very respectfully.
Not the feminist energy. There is a difference, and I would like that respect in this space.
And I appreciate you stepping up saying that. I don't want to touch an echo here. Hold on a second. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, for some reason I'm catching that echo still. And I haven't done anything different with my system, but so that's not blanket. Okay, that's not blanket. The energy that I'm talking about when I say that masculine energy that comes from the ladies is when they try to go toe to toe with a man as if they are a man. I don't hear that from you, and I haven't heard that from most of the sisters out here. But when I hear women on this app and other social media platforms talking about literally trying to get physical with a brother out here, that's that energy that I'm speaking of. I'm not speaking of an energy where because I need it. I need the thorough sisters out here. Mm-hmm. I absolutely need thorough sisters out here, because in my area, just in my general area, it's hard for me to find them anymore. Most of them have gone by the wayside, compromised, or they're just not around. And it's an unfortunate situation, because I know we do have some that were raised by some, but they're choosing to stay quiet. Why? Because maybe they got a corporate gig. I don't mess with them. Or they got a civil service gig. I don't mess with them. Or they got a gig that's in the education. I don't mess with nobody that could possibly lose their livelihood and really wouldn't have nowhere to turn fucking with somebody like me. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I've ran my own businesses in the last 30 years more than I've worked for other people or simultaneously. So I understand about breaking my own buck as well as going to get that corporate dollar. So I never try to put people in any space that they can't be comfortable in. So when I talk about the masculine energy, it's absolutely not sisters who are standing up for themselves, who got to clear their throat in spaces and be like, look, motherfucker. No, that's not masculine energy to me. That's just doing the work. The masculine energy is when people take it upon themselves. And I would never, I don't stand around and let women try to fight men. I just don't do it. And I've literally tried to, I was one of the original. Now I can't say I was the original, because I probably came in well after somebody tried before. But I will say this: I remember catching many messages the night that I tried to break up Morgan and all them cats that was coming at her, all the way to the dudes that ended up on her stoop. Some people found out where she lived and they went to her house. I tried to talk her down months ago, letting her know, understood where she was trying to come from, not only because she was a Black woman, but because I understand she's a lesbian. I get it. But I got lesbians in my family. Some of my kids are lesbians. So I understand that energy. And I've told them the same thing. I'm going to support you 1,000. I ain't never going to let nobody abuse you. I ain't going to ever let nobody marginalize you because of what you want to be in life. But you got to understand, you a woman, you a miss, you a ma'am, you a lady. And you take that shit and you embrace that shit. I don't care how strong you feel like you are in your own spirit. But you take that shit. Motherfucker trying to open a door for you, don't say, no, I got it. No, you walk through that fucking door. First and foremost, he's just opening a door for you. He's not trying to call you out and say you're less than him. He's just opening a door for you. And that's where being a lesbian and being out of pocket come into play. Because I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is when a woman won't let you call her ma'am or miss or lady. I don't know what that is. That's some crazy shit to me. But the thing is, when I get into these discussions, I do speak kind of globally. So I appreciate you stepping up and saying that, because there are people who probably have never heard me speak before and probably never will hear me speak again. I don't make blanket statements to make blanket statements. I should have been a little bit more direct in that. But I also trust that there are people that do know me. They know I am not that individual. I'm always going to hold proper decorum when it comes to the sisters. Unlike many, well, let's say I was raised by my dad. I was raised by my mother. I was raised by my grandmother, my aunts. There were men in the family, but they mostly stood down to the women. But I did have male influences in my life that were able to show me this is the way you got to be. So I got the best of both worlds. Of course, I would have loved for my biological to be around and do things. But then I also think maybe my biological was where he needed to be, because he ended up with about 17 kids. And if I had more influence on him, I probably would have ended up with about 30 kids. Maybe he was where he needed to be in my life, and he gave me the ism that he gave me, and he moved the fuck on.
All right. So with that being said, so I was there. All right. I was there and saw how I had to kind of come back with Rella. You know, I really never had a whole lot of dialogue with her before, so she didn't really understand which direction I was coming from. So that was good that she got me straight, and that was good that I got her straight, and then we were straight. That was good. That was a good thing right there. Dr. Cynthia, what did you say? We must also remember that no other group, it was shadowed, yeah, terrorized, baked, boiled, masked, bread. Boy, ain't it Nat Turner's birthday? Speaking of all that you just spoke, ain't it Nat Turner's birthday today? I think it's Nat Turner's birthday today. If somebody can look that up and just let me know if I'm right. I think October 2nd, for some reason, I thought I remember Nat Turner's birthday being October 2nd. So, it says we are the only group who fight and not run. So group mistrust is real. Absolutely. Absolutely. Cedron, what'd you say? Yeah. She gets a little just too far gone with it. And I was one of them people that really tried to be a peacemaker early on in them Twitter spaces, and then people bounce to Clubhouse and then bounce back to Twitter. I was trying to be a peacemaker because I didn't know her. I didn't know her from none of them spaces. I didn't know her from none of that. But a lot of people knew her, and she had really built up a reputation as a rabble rouser. And I was like, I'm tired of this shit. And the fact that she respected me because I was an elder and I was talking to her and gave her respect, like I said, I don't give a fuck who you're horizontal with. But, as long as we can come to a mutual understanding, you understand that I am going to treat you as a lady. I know she thinks she can knuckle up with men, but I told her, you always gonna be a lady. You like a daughter to me. You're not gonna be, you're not my peer. Is what you are. You are not my peer. Okay. Philly in the building. Yes. So, okay. So, what'd you say there, Dr. Cynthia? I thought I put it up. Such on that woman's. Yeah. A lot of times. There you go. Nat Turner. For some reason, I just knew it was his birthday. I knew it was his birthday today. I remember 10-2. For some reason, I just remember 10-2. And so 10-2 is Nat Turner's birthday. Happy birthday to the late Nat Turner, one of our true American freedmen soldiers. Well, he actually didn't make it to freedman status. So he was an enslaved individual. He's one of the reasons why we out here fighting for what we fighting for today, for what they did to him and so many millions of us out there, because there was millions that were directly affected by the 246 years of free labor, because it wasn't just work, it was enslavement. She don't want peace, she wants violence. Yeah, I can't fuck with that. I can't fuck with that. Appreciate you, Kai Stone. Appreciate you. I felt like I wanted to go at it in a way that I knew that not only people could understand who I was, but that's the way we've got to be when we are talking business. And I look at these Twitter spaces a lot of time as business, not really so much strategy. That needs to happen in private. But I look at a lot of these Twitter spaces as business, because I know that other people are listening besides the people that are in the room. People come back and listen to them spaces days later, and they want to pick them little nuggets out so they can go move it and move their narrative. I know the real. I know the truth out here. They don't just listen on the live. They'll come back and listen to the playback the next day, the next week. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Happy birthday, brother Nat Turner. Yes, it is Nat Turner's birthday. So yeah, let's just go ahead and keep cooking in here with this, because we on a vibe.
I love him. I love him in life. I love him in death. But my thing is, I got the proper influences to always treat women right. But I also know, in this day and age, the energy that comes off of some of the females, it's so destructive. That's not y'all, not who's spoken tonight, but it's so destructive that they feel like they have to use that term now, man up, to be right in these spaces. And you don't. You can totally be a lady in these spaces, but you can be about your shit. If you got to motherfucker somebody, motherfucker somebody. Ain't no problem with that. That is not masculine energy there. That is not masculine energy. Telling somebody you gonna knuckle up with them because they don't agree with you on your platform, that's some goofy shit. That's masculine energy. I don't care how nobody wears their clothes. I don't care how nobody wears their hair, whether they wear makeup, whether they this, that, and the other. I don't care. You want to grow facial hair? I don't give a fuck. That doesn't matter to me, because you're still gonna be a lady to me in my eyes. Now, you want to prove different, then that's your business. That's your business. But it ain't got nothing to do with me. But I appreciate you stating what you're stating, checking me on that. So I definitely want to offer my apology, because I definitely don't speak up on sisters who speak up for themselves and call them masculine, because that's definitely not the case.
I just want to go on record and say that I like for all of my doors to be opened, and that I like to go to nice dinners and lunches, and I like for the men to pay. My husband pays. I'm a married woman. And I like for my husband to hold my elbow and stuff. Make sure I don't fall when I have my heels on. And I also like to go to Capitol Hill and get in some white man's face who's sitting in a seat of power and hold his feet to the fire too. And so I just want to go on record as saying most of the women that I know that are in this space, because I may not know everybody, have spoken to everybody, but I think they think the same thing. I think they feel the same way as we do. And the other thing I wanted to say is, it looks like the men are falling out. See, at one point it looked like the women are falling out, but it looks like the men are falling out, and it looks a little more serious. I think women understand that it's okay for us to call ourselves whatever we want to call ourselves. You know, for a minute we was calling ourselves Brown Eyed Girl when who came out with that record, Brown Eyed Girl?
I had to check her. I had to check the elder.
Isley Brothers.
I had to check the elder. Watch me.
But anyway, you know, we called ourselves that, and we can do that, because guess why? Because the Asians is doing it, because the white peoples are doing it, because the Jews are doing it. And by the way, I had a connection where I was getting ready to invite the Israelites to the rally, the Black Israelites. That's how serious I was. I wanted all the Black people. Okay. But we can be who we are and work in unison for the greater good. We can do that. And people still work on their own separate projects. But like I tell you, we got a small window of time. I don't know if y'all gonna make it.
Had to check her.
Because right now, you're gonna have to squeak through the window. If you can't see what's going on and reading the tea leaves politically, y'all don't see what I see. I'm gonna tell you something. They done wrote us off. That's why we have to force the issue. See,
this is very true. This is very true. And I am in, with the utmost respect, Queen. I definitely get where you were at with the Isley Brothers, but the original song was actually made by Van Morrison. I'm somewhat of a music historian because I do come from that broadcasting field.
Van Morrison, the white man.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
See, I know a little bit about music too. Okay,
but
I gotta go back and look at that one. I got to. I believe it was my brothers, the Isley Brothers.
No, I know that version too. I know that version too. So my thing is, but you got to remember, the Isley Brothers covered a lot of those rock and roll classics. A lot of that stuff back in the day.
They did.
And they just put their Isley on it. You know, they put their Isley gloss on it.
That's what made me know it was theirs.
There you go. There you go. They made songs. They made songs, and it made it their song.
Yeah.
Most people think that a lot of the songs that they made, but what you're saying is so true. And I know a lot of people believe in what's that term, moving in silence. There ain't no such thing in politics to move in silence.
All right, I'm gonna cook on that in a second because we're gonna switch. There's gonna be some other speakers that's gonna come up. But what's up, brother Emmanuel? Good to see you in here today. Yeah, you was on it too, brother. You was on it too. Sister Taxation, you know, she had it with the Isley Brothers because I can feel why a lot of people think that the Isley Brothers made that song, because the Isley Brothers cooked so many songs and they put that Isley on it. They put that Ernie Isley guitar on it, and then they had that lush music. It was like, that's an Isley Brothers song. Well, most people thought that was an Isley Brothers song, but it was truly a Van Morrison song, and they just put their spin on it. So it was a beautiful thing. So, you know, but you know, you see the way I handled that, you know, I mean, she's elder, you know, and then I got the younger chick that was in there, Rella. You know, I can vibe with all of that. I can work with the old, I can work with the new. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've worked with many and I'll work with few. So, you know, but one thing that, you know, I'm not going to do is be disrespectful. I don't need to be disrespectful in these spaces. All right. You know, and as much as I do and say on these things, if I don't have the vocabulary and the decorum to work with all these people, whether they be younger than me, whether they be older than me, same genders, not the same gender, hey, it is what it is. So we were getting it in and I felt the vibe. We was on a wave. So let me just continue to cook. But I had to break out, say hello to my brother Emmanuel in the space today. And yeah, we was on it, man. We was really on it. So we're going to cook some more on this thing. That's what we're doing. We're doing a recap from a Twitter space a couple of days ago, brother Emmanuel. And we was really vibing up in here.
You got to make some noise out here.
Yes.
You know, and when they've got us to that point, that's like one of the biggest catchphrases in blackdom right now. Move in silence. I'm making moves in silence. Okay, you a sneaky motherfucker is what you're doing. You just making moves in silence. You sneaky. But if you're making political moves in silence, absolutely nobody will hear you. And the people who need you to be quiet will love that you're moving in silence. People who really need you to stay quiet, you're doing exactly what they need you to do. So don't make political moves in silence. Make political moves out loud. You want to make some business moves in silence. I see our people say that because they don't want people stealing their ideas. Well, you're talking to a man who's probably had more ideas stolen from him in his lifetime than he ever cares to. Unfortunately, those people never made nothing out of it because they didn't really have the idea. They just heard me say that I was going to do something. They wouldn't try to copy it. And when I give you 1, 3, and 5, your shit ain't going to work unless you got 2, 4, and 6. But that's the way we work out here as a people. We would rather steal something from each other versus collaborate and get the whole bag. We'll just go get a couple nickels.
Yeah.
No, I need that whole dollar. I need that whole dollar because I got to get this person a dime. I got to get this person a dime. You just trying to get a couple nickels. Them couple nickels gonna be gone before you get back home, bro. You got to eat. You got to get gas. You got to get some more products. To get gas and get back home. That's not me. I've always tried to be collaborative in my efforts, but I've always ended up on my own because most people be on goofy shit.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate what you're saying, and we definitely have to have a more collective behavior. And I felt like we were going down that road years and years ago. But you know, once people got to fighting, with the ADOS and the this and the that and the FBA and come on, man.
Well, I just want to raise my hand and say I got put out first. I was the first one to get put out. They put so I have that's my badge of honor. Because when shit started turning foul, the first thing they wanted to do was get rid of me. But they wanted to get rid of me because I was on the hill.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to get rid of me because I was taking Dr. Darity to the hill. He's a university professor of economics at Duke, and he runs their think tank. So see, that's easy for me to sell. You know, that's the easy vehicle for me. I don't need nothing else.
You're so true in that. And I don't know if I've ever said that.
So what she cooked right there, man, was just a beautiful thing because it allowed me to come back in there. It allowed me to come back in there and really talk about some things that I've talked about with Dr. Darity and his involvement in this whole reparations movement. You know, Dr. Darity is a scholar, and I'm going to cook on that in a second. What you put in there, Sejuan? I was second to get put. See, I'm dealing with a whole bunch of rebels here. I'm dealing with a whole bunch of outcasts here. Look at this. See, and you know what? I'm a rebel, and I'm an outcast, and I'm a contrarian. And that's why we all rolling together still to this day, because we don't go with the bullshit. We go with the real shit, or we go with no shit. That's the way we are. That's the way we cut. And that's why we out here doing it like this. So she was first, you was second. I don't know exactly when I was down the line. Probably I held on, tried to hold on because I really wanted to build with folks. But you know, once I found out I wasn't going to be able to build with this group and I was going to be able to build with that group. And I was just like, they were like, man, you ain't this, you ain't that, you this. And I looked it up and I was like, well, I am a freeman. I just said, I'm just going to be a freeman. And it ain't about rocking with nobody anymore. I just know what I'm not. The fact that I know who I am, it also lets me know what I'm not. So that's what I'm going to be. And what I'm going to do right now is just continue to cook.
This in this type of space, I know I've said it in more of our collective channels or back channels. Everybody went wrong with Dr. Darity. They wanted Dr. Darity to put on a leather coat and a black beret. That's not Dr. Darity. No. Dr. Darity is a scholar.
Yes.
And you need to keep him in his scholarly realm. Everybody wanted him to get out here and be a soldier. No, Dr. Darity is a scholar.
That's right.
So keep keep him in his scholarly realm so he can do that work.
That's right.
Because if anything, when all of us run up them goddamn stairs to the halls of justice, they're gonna say, okay, who's your spokesperson?
Right.
I'm not gonna say me.
Me either.
I'm not gonna say Naheem. I'm gonna say, you know what? This is our spokesperson. But by the time we get to that point where we got Dr. Darity in lockstep with us, Dr. Darity will know the proper language that we need to speak when we get there. But what everybody wanted to do is everybody wanted to basically put Dr. Darity in an activist perspective. And he's not an activist, he's a scholar.
And that's what I meant, Rella, by staying in your lane. When I took him up there, my lane was make sure that the meeting started on time and ended on time, and that everybody's information, contact information, was passed around. I'm just the door opener. I wasn't there to say anything. What am I going to say? And I'm sitting next to somebody who sits with Federal Reserves. I ain't.
Period.
Word.
Period.
Oh no, I clearly got what you I clearly understood what you meant. And I'm adding my young perspective on. Had you not crossed over into the lane and know who he was to get him to where you were able to open the door, then you weren't really staying in your lane. You just were able to say, "Guess what? I don't have to drive the car."
No, that is my
that's
my lane because I open doors. So that is my
that's his money.
But it wasn't my lane to say anything to me.
I understood.
Somebody got a Bluetooth on. So mute your mic, whoever got the Bluetooth.
I think, I understand what you were saying, and I definitely understand when you said sometimes you got to turn your blinker on, because yes, you do, and that's what I meant when I said, in every movement, the grass has to be cut, sometimes more than one time, because you have to know where the snakes are. You do.
Facts.
And, and I think this is what's happening. I also think that at the end of this journey, this week-long journey that we've been on, discussing several matters that involve the same people, I believe that a consensus will be formed after this, and that people will see the value in learning how to work together and not being concerned about what one person calls themselves. I believe that. I believe they see it as something more important, as they're vibrating higher. See, that's what it is. Take it to a higher vibration. I'm not mad at nobody for what they call themselves. And if you mad at me for what I call myself, well, you might be happy the next day, because I might call myself something else, because I've been through several designations in this country alone. Because basically, I don't call myself Negro. I hadn't thought about that till I found out Obama took the shit away and I wanted it back, But everybody knows I call myself Black, and that comes from the Black Power movement of the 1960s. See? So, don't put a discount on my Blackness because you call yourself something else. And
See, I'm glad she got to cooking on that. And I'm gonna let her finish in a second. But see, this is where I get into trouble, with the brethren. And I'm gonna use that term lightly around here. A lot of people think I'm trying to be something that I'm not. Or when I say I'm not going to stand to be called POC, BIPOC, minority, African American, I'm not going to be just that, because that's just not me. I know what my classification is, and my classification is American freedman. And if I know if my classification is American freedman, respect that shit. You might not want to call yourself that if you indeed are an American freedman, but respect the fact that I want to be called that. I hold that same feeling, just like Cassius Clay probably felt once he changed his name to Muhammad Ali. And people still called him Cassius Clay, but they should have been calling him Muhammad Ali, because legally that's what he was. Well, legally, I am an American freedman. Boy, you trying to get cussed out, brother Emmanuel. you try to get cussed out. Yeah, I don't think you want to cause taxation of Pan African. Woo! That would start something. Woo! That'd be like, what is that? Who does that? Ric Flair?
I won't put a discount on your blackness by you calling yourself something different than I call myself. And that's the way we have to look at it. Stop putting a discount on other people's blackness because they're using a different name. Like the man said, all the Asians got 5011 names. And when they went to get the bag, they went under the umbrella of Asians.
You know what? Remember when I told you that and Marlon said it earlier, and you know that Tanaki, you know, mentioned this during the hearings, and he did talk about how there was a lot of discord because a lot of Asians were not included in the reparations for the Japanese, and there was arguments, and they did have discord. But when it comes to them getting economic resources on the local and state level, no, they don't separate. You won't hear about infighting unless you get to know one of them, maybe at the nail shop or something, or they start telling you, you know, about their culture, or if you're friends with somebody and they start telling you about what it is and what their culture goes through.
Yeah.
Or we hear about stories, right, about, you know, them committing mass murders or heinous crimes against one another, and it's on the news. So, you know, it's almost like we're always in a position where we're trying to compare ourselves to these people, whereas we really should be setting the standard. We're always going to be the model citizen. I don't like to use the word minority, the model citizen. Even though they like to deny it and say that we're not, we are. That's the reason why everybody's like, well, if Black people have Black History Month, why can't we have Hispanic Heritage Month? Why can't we have Irish Heritage Month? Why can't we have White People History Month? Do it. Do it, because you're only trying to take the template from what we've been forced into and utilize it, and then say and lay claim to it and say, well, see, look, we got what the Blacks got, but hey, well, we're not going to let them get any more resources. That's what they do to us. We're forced into a lot of the conditions that we are in. Some, yes, probably do put themselves in certain situations, but in the majority of the conditions and the impacts that we are going through, we are forced into those. And we're always having to jump through hoops to create a new solution, new narratives, how to protect our own selves. And it's time that we actually go straight to the people who have been putting us dead ass last.
And that's
While
exactly
they
that's exactly what you have to do. You have to go straight to them. I tell you something else, Rella. You said a mouthful. They fight until the money time comes. Then all of a sudden ain't no fight until the bill comes, anti-Asian hate crime bill. And then they look at us like we doing it. Come to find out it's the white folks doing it. See?
Ain't nothing unified white people like anti-Black hate. That's what
we've got to make sure that we see and learn how they got theirs and replicate it if we can. And we also have to learn that ain't no need in us fighting over some names, because at the end of the day, if you're going by lineage, we all gonna win. If the freedmen win, I won. If the Negro win, I won. If name another group, ADOS, if they win, I won. So in the grand scheme of things, it really don't matter. It's just a very personal way of looking at your own Blackness in this country. That's what it is.
And I know a lot of people don't like when the elders get to cooking in there, because they literally be on, you know, the real stuff. They all the fat has been trimmed from their message. Whereas I might give you a little bit of fat just because I'm a fat guy, I guess. But, you know, she gets right to the point. The fact that she works on Capitol Hill makes a big difference. She done seen it. She done been there. She ain't for no games. You know, she got a few more calendars on me, obviously. So she's been there. And she's rubbed elbows with all them people in the halls of justice. And she knows what it takes to be in there, get in there, and get things heard. So I'm not sure why more people aren't rocking with her, but I'm rocking with her. So it's all good. Would you say there, Dr. Cynthia? Shared interest? Shared risk. Absolutely. We got to be on a collective level. Man, it's almost like you heard this space, Doc, but just check this out where this is actually going. This is really going. This is a beautiful thing. We've been here an hour and 24 minutes. Appreciate y'all coming through, sticking with the chat and everything. You know, Kai Stone, got Dr. Cynthia up in here, Brother Emmanuel up in here. I'm in here. Some other people in here ain't gonna say shit, and I get that. But, you know, we just in here cooking on this Twitter space. And hopefully the people that are not saying anything, you know, hopefully y'all learning something. Y'all learning something about building and making sure that when you do get into these Twitter spaces, this is the kind of decorum that you need to be holding on a respect level. You know, you bring your respect, you bring your intellect. That's all you need to bring. Bring your respect and bring your intellect. Don't bring none of that goofy shit into a Twitter space. At least not one that I'm in. Because, hell, I'm either going to bounce or we going to battle. You know, but most likely I'm going to bounce because I don't even like getting up in them Twitter spaces like I used to anyway because the shit ain't worth it. What you say there? Scholarship informs advocacy and advocacy informs scholarship. Yes, I like that. I like that. Yes, sir. Appreciate you. While you grinding, I appreciate you, brother Emmanuel. I mean, let's go on back and just keep it cooking here.
We have a rich history here, a very rich history. And it's going to be a wide and varied because we have to remember we was all over everywhere.
Appreciate you, Kai Stone.
You gotta also understand too, we are dealing with, I mean, me being 53 and pretty much everybody, all my elders gone. What's happening is they're purposely doing this to try to erase our history.
Yes.
And the more and more people that come into this country, you never heard this disrespect back in the 70s about how come we can't have this history month and we can't have that history month. That shit really didn't start until the 90s and the 2000s. Even into the 80s, you did not hear about Japanese people, or not, or I won't say Japanese people, let's say Asians or Hispanics or Arabs. You didn't hear about all these months that they got these months because they weren't here. They hadn't even been here in mass before 1965. So you didn't hear about them. So for them to get their weight up in the 90s and into the 2000s, that's why they talk that talk. I just did a stream a couple of weeks ago about the caucuses, and y'all can go do the research because don't nobody listen to the streams. But I did a stream about the caucuses. You look at the Hispanic caucus, you go look at the Asian caucus, and the Arab caucus. You go look at all the caucuses and see what their mission statements are. Their mission statements are specifically for their people. Then you go look at the Congressional Black Caucus. It's for everybody. It's for all those other groups that don't do shit for us. So the thing is, we've gotten so watered down at our own root system that's why we are spreading out so much. And it ain't got nothing to do with procreation. Please don't think I'm taking it that way. We've gotten watered down in our thinking. And we've always helped people. Back in the 60s, we helped people. In the 50s, whatever. We've never liked other people being marginalized because we're the most marginalized people on the planet. But we've taken that to a different level to where we've actually uplifted people past us and expected them to look back and say, hey, what about me? They're going to say, fuck you. They got theirs. They're going to keep moving. Where all the brothers and sisters was talking shit to me in that space, talking about, ain't no black people in Washtenaw County. How come you up there? Well, I'm here. And I know 40,000 other people are here. So if I work out in Washtenaw County and we move that towards the city of Detroit, maybe we can help you in Wayne County. Because city of Detroit is one thing, but the rest of Wayne County, most of them people hate city of Detroit. And they're going to work against reparations. And it's going to happen based on the county. It's going to happen based on the state level. Detroit will get all the way to the table, then got to put it in front of Duggan, and it'll get turned down. They have no idea that they're just spinning their wheels right now. Duggan will be the final call on that shit. And he will turn it down because he's going to say, well, look at what we've got. We've got such a diverse town here now. Because they've got Tech Town and they've got this and they got that. And they got all these hipsters that have moved into town to work in the city of Detroit. He's not going to think about the 77% black people at that point. He's going to think about all that new blood that's still in Detroit. that he's got to pacify. And the reason I'm trying to move in my territory is because we've got the Asians, we've got the whites, we've got the Arabs, we've got the Jews, we've got all those people who are in political power making moves. I don't care if the city council's all black in Detroit. Your mayor's still white. Your mayor's still white, and he still holds power. So that's what the situation is. And he's not in.
Remember when Jeezy made that song, My President is Black? How'd that work out for us? My president is black. How did that work out for us? Jeezy made a song, said my president is black, and then went and married Jenny May. Okay? Put a pin in that. Jeezy said my president is black. And he was rolling down Camden, going to get him some soul food, singing my president is black. And he married Jeannie Mae. You can't be about black power if you ain't got no black woman.
Lockstep with the city council. That's been years since city council and the mayor got along, or were even on the same side. But they want to play that game like, oh man, you need to be working in Detroit. I know why people want me to be working in Detroit. I know exactly why. Ain't got nothing to do with my melanin. I know exactly why. But that's why I won't go. Because this ain't got nothing to do with what I got. It's what I've got to give. And I'm gonna play home games first. And my home games is Washtenaw County. And I know it's gonna run up to the state. And who we got in the leadership there, that's what's also going to determine things. And right now, Gretchen Whitmer is not a reparations governor. She is absolutely not a reparations governor. So why even talk this silliness when it's all going to get turned down at the end? It'll just help some other people get elected or reelected. And that's all it's going to do. And I'm not in for helping politicians get elected no more. Unless you come in with some real policy and legislation for me and mine, fuck you. That's what I got to say about it.
And that's going to happen all over the country. You mark my words, it's going to happen all over the country. People think that what's going on out there in California or New York or something is going to translate across the country. And I'm here to tell you that it's not. Federalism is in big, big, big effect. The United States government is doing federalism, y'all. That's the name of the game. See? And you listen, they'll throw you crumbs to shut you up. They might do that because they've been doing that since forever. That's what they do. Mm-hmm. But all that infighting and all that kind of stuff, we got bigger fish to fry. Mm-hmm. We got bigger fish to fry, and we need to concentrate on the bigger fish. Stop worrying about the person that looks like you next to you and calls themselves another name. They ain't got nothing either.
Nope.
They ain't got nothing either. They can't help you. And they can't really hurt you if you're doing the work right. They can't.
Broke, Nack. You're broke. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it ain't like, it ain't like, any of us in here, unless I don't know something. But I don't know about no multimillionaires being in the village. I don't know. I would have been the first one to know if you want to know truth about it, because this is a curated village by me, starting 11 years ago on Twitter or X. And I will say that there's a better place for us to be, and that is on social. All the different groups need to go over there and put their names on the thing about the groups and all that kind of stuff, and everybody welcome, and put it over there where you can keep your business quiet from the public. That's not moving in silence, but what it is doing is closing the gate. And sometimes you got to close the gate. See? And if you've been in the game before, you know what to do. You've seen it, you've learned it. If you've never been in the game, get with somebody that You know, maybe you don't know what to call yourself. Well, go. Maybe you want to call yourself a freedman. Go over there and learn some things. Learn some things. Keep your eyes open. Maybe you want to call yourself a Negro. Go over there and learn some things and keep your eyes open. That's how you do it. It's a movement. It's, you know, you got to be moving. And you got to be looking for the greater good. It's all about the greater good. Because whatever you call yourself might not be on that census. We don't know what them white folks gonna say. And that's just the bottom line. They might put black people in America, African Americans. See, that's gonna piss me off right there, because I don't want to be no African American. I ain't never called myself African American, but I know black folks do that are not Africans. The best thing, I'm gonna finish with this. The best thing that you all did was the delineation. They got it in their heads, because there's some of you in this room that remember that I said, even last year, maybe the year before, when I sat in that man's office, who was the senior advisor to Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Senator Chuck Schumer, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, and Senator Warner out in Virginia. He said to me, "Who do we pay?" Well, now y'all fixed it so they know who they don't pay. Okay? Y'all fixed that. Y'all answered that question. So that's a win as far as I'm concerned, because they didn't know. But y'all can't keep falling out and not working together and hating on each other and thinking you're going to be able to go up there and get something. It don't happen like that. It just don't happen like that. And so respect the game. That's all you got to do. Respect the game. If you find somebody you don't like and you don't want to be around that person, just don't be around that person. You know, work with the people that you can work with. You know, respect the people that you do respect. And the ones that you don't respect, stay away from them. That's all.
I totally agree. And I think I've already kind of spoke on that. I mean, the table's big enough to where you don't have to sit next to somebody that you don't like.
Exactly.
And this has got to the point where it's too personal, you know,
exactly.
on some strange levels. If you're for reparations and I'm for reparations, then why are we actually fighting each other on anything? I mean, we might not like each other. We might not like each other's style. I mean, I heard about people talking about people's clothes, about people's, you know, body makeups, all types of stuff months and months and months ago. Somebody even said that someone talked too aggressively. And I've been accused of that all my life. You too loud. You too loud. You too aggressive with what you say. It's not what you say, it's how you say it.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop right there, because you know I can just cut myself off. You know, it's not normal that I cut myself off, but I'm gonna cut myself. I just cut myself. I just got rude with myself, because I had to speak on this comment that Dr. Cynthia put in. Our misleaders sold us out and believe integration and so-called multi-ethnic coalition was a panacea. You're right. You're right. That's why, like I said, you know, I mean, I talk on both sides of Dr. King. I understood the 1963 King and I understood the 1967 King, you know, and I don't dislike either. Okay. I probably would have been rocking with Dr. King in 1963. And in 1967, I would have seen the evolution, because I am adaptable. You know, I am changeable, you know, but I got to be teachable too. You know, you got to tell me why we went from here to here. And that would have been an easy fix for me, because I probably couldn't have took too much of that ass whooping that they used to take down there. They used to take a lot of ass whooping. I really needed to probably be up in the north, you know, where Malcolm and everybody else was that was swinging. You know, he said less singing and more swinging. So I probably would have needed to be up in the north, but, you know, I would have understood Dr. King's message. But by the time 1967 rolled around, I would have had to have been like, hey, you know, Doc, you know, we got to stop taking these ass whoopings, you know, like Malcolm used to say, you know, because Malcolm was gone by then. You know, hey, less singing, more swinging. And I'd have got Doc to see my perspective. Those hipsters are riding the intergenerational great wealth transfer wave. Absolutely. They're taking what we're missing because we're fighting amongst each other versus getting, you know, on code and making sure that we get what we get. But we weren't about names. We weren't about religions. We weren't about, oh, this person with a black person, this person with a white person, this person with a Mexican person, this person with an Asian person. Motherfucker, please. Motherfucker, please. That's why I will not buy into all that craziness, because that has nothing to do with the grand scheme of things. At the end of the day, if you qualify, you qualify. And if we qualify, that means we need to quantify. And if we're not going to quantify, then we need to shut the fuck up. That's what we need to do. If we are not going to get back, hold back, huddle up, and qualify who's in this thing so we can quantify who's in this thing, then we need to sit down and shut the fuck up. That's what we need to do. Because we're not going to go anywhere all this individual, this group over here, and this group over here, this task force over here, and this group. No. We either get on the same fucking page or we do nothing out here. Nothing. We're not going anywhere individually. We're not going anywhere with just groups. We need the whole collective saying, we ready. We ready to move. Just like the Asians move. Just like the Latinos move. Just like the Indians move. Just like all the Caribbean motherfuckers that work against us. Just like all the motherfuckers from the continent that work against us. We've got to move collectively. Are we going to get along with each other? No. Are we going to like each other? No. But if we're all fighting for the same thing, why are we not together? Those who don't want to be with us are the people that are on the goofy shit. Those who will not get down and be down are on some goofy shit. They just out here for play. Stop fucking with them. Stop talking with them. Unfriend them. Unfollow them. They on goofy shit. They're holding you back purposely. They're holding you back purposely. What you say there? Says Jeezy has an expression of internalized racism. Obama hates. Absolutely. We know all these things. We absolutely know all these things. Jeezy has more fish to fry, you know, with his wife, because, you know, I heard that they was trying to raise their kid as, what's that, you know, the gender something. I forgot what it is. Gender fluid or something like that. And they said Jeezy really wasn't down with it. I think it's going to come out soon. I think it's going to really come out mainstream soon. So if y'all ain't heard about that, just look up Jeannie Mae and Jeezy's baby, gender fluid. I think there's a whole lot of hidden stuff about that that's going to come out. And Jeezy really wasn't feeling that. And he wasn't really feeling, you know, all the whole relationship with her mama and all kind of stuff. There was a whole lot of stuff that was going on there. Everybody's saying that she cheated on him. I don't know if she cheated on him or not. Don't even care. Don't even care. If she did, she did. If she didn't, she didn't. Either way, it don't sound like they're going to stay together. So it is what it is. 2 tears in a bucket.
I'm like, come on now. Now I got to the point where, no, it's not. It has nothing to do with how I say it. You don't like the message. So however, whether I'm whispering it or whether I'm yelling it, it doesn't matter. You don't like my message. And what we've gotten to this point now, a lot of people just don't like other people's messages. I don't know why, because if we're all for reparations, I think the only reason that we're collectively in this space is because we all believe that we deserve reparations. Why else would we all be in this space together? I mean, the reason that I'm even up right now is because I had a fallout earlier in the evening. Well, it was yesterday evening. It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
I'm about to break
in
that
2 hours.
again.
I'll be cooking grits and putting fruit on a plate for my granddaughter to get ready to go to school. I should be definitely dead sleep. But I was dealt a blow, a ridiculous blow, that's going to cause me to fall back probably another month, maybe 2 months, to where I can't do what I need to do out here. And it's because of our people. And I'm going to speak on it. I'm going to speak on it when I go up on my platform, just to let people know it's not always us against each other that has to say, like, you on that side, I'm on this side. No, sometimes we're against each other because we won't move the necessary needle for our brother or our sister so they can move their needle. And I literally am dealing with the apathy of people holding power in government offices, just by being employed. They ain't really elected or appointed. They just employees, but they refuse to do their fucking job. That's why I said, to me anymore, color don't mean shit to me if you in a position. If you are ineffective in your position, get the fuck out the paint. I don't need colored representation. I don't need that. I need representation for the color. And that's us. When I speak of the color, I don't speak of nobody that don't belong here, and I don't speak of nobody whose people aren't buried here. Because we got these first and second generation people that just came over here. They think they're us, and they're impersonating us, and they are moving as us. That's what we got to get straight. That's why we got to circle our wagons, to make sure that we're staying in pocket with one another. Don't let nobody call you a person of color. Don't let nobody call you a BIPOC. Hell, I had to stop letting people calling me African American, because they calling everybody African American. They letting that happen on a daily. They want to perpetuate that the vice president of the United States is African American.
See, y'all see, so I just don't be doing this shit on my streams. I be talking that same shit where I'm in the Twitter spaces. I be talking that same shit if I'm in Clubhouse. I be talking that same shit. Y'all got to understand, this is the way I am. This is the way I wake up. This is the way I go to sleep. See, a lot of people just wait till they get on the air. They get the mic hot. When the mic get hot, then that's when they get political. When the mic get hot, that's when they get all blackity black, 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 black. No, this is where I am. This is where I live all day. So you ain't gonna get on my stream, have me like, I'm like this all day. Because the next thing you know, somebody gonna be like,
did you say nigga?
Mm-hmm. That's what they'll be like. They ain't gonna be like that with me. They ain't gonna be like that with me.
And she's only black when she needs to be black. And when she don't need to be black, then she goes back to being who she really is. And she's a person of color. She's a BIPOC. She salutes that shit, because that's where she needs to dwell. But when she needs to be black, oh yeah, she'll talk to AKA shit up. She'll talk to HBCU shit up. She'll talk to hip hop shit up. Absolutely. That's what makes her black. But if you take those three entities away from her, where's she at?
Right.
You take those three entities away from anybody, I wouldn't say anybody, most of the people that are in this room, we still black. See, we don't need all them different titles and clubs and groups and shit to be who we are. Those are just notches on our belt. Most people need that shit to get black. That's what most people need for their blackness. They need those clubs.
I got to stop that because I am talking. I just really had to stop that. I'm talking right now. Hopefully y'all really listening, because I know it's not me talking. It's me talking, but it's not me talking. It's me that I was talking a couple of days ago. But I just felt that. I felt that in my spirit. I just felt I almost cash at myself $1. For real. I literally almost cash at myself $1. For real. That was good.
They need that access. But if you take all that, see, and I ain't got no tattoos. I ain't never been in no fraternities. I ain't got no brands. So I ain't got none of that shit. But people want me to be a part of this, and people want me to be a part of that. Man, I know why you want me to be a part of that, because you know I get in the room and you need somebody to talk, you're gonna nudge me. I'm not here to be nobody's watchdog. I'm not here to be nobody's mouthpiece. I'm my mouthpiece. Now you want to fuck with me? Let's build. But I'm not nobody's watchdog where I'm just gonna step up just because I know how to put some motherfucking words together. That's what people want out of most. That's why you always hear it out of white people. You're so articulate. God, you're so well spoken. God, you speak so well. Motherfuck you. I read a book just like you did, bitch. Probably better than you did. I have no problem with saying that. And because I have no problem with saying that, most people in Washington County don't have no problem with fucking with me. But you know who does have a problem with fucking with me? Many black people. Absolutely. Because I don't talk, man, my main man. That's my main man. I don't talk that shit. Now, if you want me to talk that shit, I can talk that shit. Mm-hmm. But when we get in front of these folks and we need to build and move, I'm going to show and prove. I'm going to talk that other shit. I need to talk that King's language. I'll come back here and talk this language when we're done with the meeting. We can turn up after that. But when I get over here, I got to make sure that these motherfuckers understand me because they might not be bilingual.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I love it. So that right there, the space is still going, y'all. The space is still going. So we got a whole lot more cooking to go. But yes, Dr. Cynthia, you must be knee deep in that mug. You must be knee deep in that mug. Where do we go from here? Great book. Great book. But like you said, even then, it was not something that we were lockstep with Dr. King. I was in a lot of that book. But there are things that fundamentally I still didn't agree with. But, you know, they had to make it sellable, Doc. They had to make it sellable. You know what I'm saying? So where he might have been with we coming to get that check, he still had some other things that, you know, we fundamentally, because we actually on the same page, Doc. I think we on the same page with a lot of stuff, right? And, you know, that's why we've been able to build where we've been able to build with this morbid obesity stuff and, you know, different mental health stuff. And we've been on the same plane. But there's a lot of things fundamentally that we both agree with Dr. King that we disagreed with Dr. King with. So I don't think there's anything bad in saying that. And hopefully y'all can hear me enough to where y'all will, somebody got a like, just hit like somewhere. Hit like if you in the chat and you ain't saying nothing, just hit like. Just let me see the number pop up real quick. But I want to get back to cooking because the conversation, if I'm not mistaken, the conversation is about to turn. Somebody had actually asked me a question. They tweeted the question during the space just because I really didn't have nothing going because it was like 4:00 in the morning. I was scrolling and I was like, oh, somebody just tweeted something about me in this space. So they asked me a question and then I cooked on it and answered the question in the space. Didn't wait, didn't tweet them back, didn't DM them. I answered it right in the space because I was feeling good. I was feeling really good, feeling good like Stephanie Mills without the hair weave and the big booty and all that, you know. It's all good.
Hey, don't let the needle drop. Know what I'm saying? Anybody want to speak? Or not? Go now, forever hold your peace, fam. Anybody want to speak? All right, y'all. You already know what time it is. Then social soxcial.com. Come up there. The whole Muta Freeman Media is definitely up there on social, posting the content. Appreciate you very much, no man, for being up there. We are trying to build our American Negro NACA network up there for sure. Shout out to the Black State. Everybody, make sure you follow Black America Homeland. If y'all would be so graciously kind to hit the Cash App, and if you got a couple extra bucks, buy a Black America Homeland book. Make sure y'all buy a Black State book. Make sure y'all buy Aunt Law book because y'all NACAs need to read. You know what I'm saying? We read the same book as you did, white man. You know what I'm saying? Probably better. You know what I'm saying?
100.
Hey, look. And shout out to them Asians, too, that was cheating on them college admissions. We ain't got to cheat. We really got to put our face in the book because you already going to call us a cheater from the door.
And how come we didn't blast that? How come we didn't blow that out? We spent all that time
what you cooking, Kystone?
With each other. How come we didn't blow that college scam shit out the
I blow that shit up every day. That's why I be getting banned on Facebook. Y'all Asians ain't smart. You know what I'm saying?
It's so
y'all
crazy.
Really stupid. Y'all really stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all literally photoshopping motherfuckers on rowing teams to make it look like y'all was on a rowing, and college was accepting this shit. They were a rower, they were this, and they had this and that. I'm like, how come we weren't fighting that shit? When I was talking about it, nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody wanted to say nothing about it. These motherfuckers scammed for generations to get into college. To get into, I thought y'all was so smart. I thought y'all was so smart, but y'all came over here to cheat. And you not only cheating, but you helping white folks cheat so they can stay ahead. I mean, all them white kids that got into college, all the rich, the celebrity, whether it be the celebrities or just affluent people that got into college, all that shit needs to come back. Their degrees need to go back. Maybe they won't fire them from the places that they work at, but them degrees, you need to bring them credentials back. Bring all that shit back. But they're not gonna, because ain't nobody gonna put pressure on them. But hell, we won't even help each other get a motherfucking job out here, let alone when you heard about somebody cheat. When you heard about somebody cheat to help somebody get a better score on a college board.
Friedman.
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on one second. DJ, you got Uncle Ruckus trying to come back up in here.
Oh yeah, Marcus gotta hit the cash app if you want to come up.
Yeah. But that right there was funny. That shit was, I was like, golly, we can't even be serious.
Hey,
Yeah. Uncle Ruckus coming up in here.
real quick. Mute your mic. Hey, hit News Title Cash App and show me a receipt that you sent some money over there. I'll let you come up. All right, you know that's what's up. Yeah. Fist bump your back. There you go.
Look at the Fez hat. Like this is some fuckery, girl. This is some Lord.
Yeah, hit my Cash App. Hit News Title Cash App, yo. There you go. There you go. All this shit is brought to you by News Title. The whole Negro shit that came up in these spaces brought to you by News Title. You know what I'm saying? That shit started in News Title space. I'm trying to tell y'all something. Word up. The most black curated news on the web. Hit that cash, you know what I mean? Word up.
And if anybody in the organization tell you that they build an organization to not build an organization to not take funding or resources, they wasting people time, because you cannot move an organization without funding and resources. That's a fact. I don't even know what are we doing? That's why you got people out on damn TikTok and social media able to move around freely, because them people, they know how to tap into set asides. They know how to go and get the money. And guess what? They don't have a whole bunch of people behind them talking about something. I don't want people to get, personally, get any money out of this. And I'm thinking to myself, hold on.
All right. So let me just ease up real quick, because the conversation is about to go left. Sounds like a good dinner you got going there, Kai Stone. If that chicken, if that was some chicken, I might mess with it, because I don't do meat no more, so I don't mess with the fowl, but that's okay. The mashed potatoes and green beans, you can run. Oh, you said greens. That ain't green beans, that's greens. Oh, the mashed potatoes and greens, that'd be quite enough. Mashed potatoes and greens will be quite enough. I know you must be doing, you got some other chicken, so you must be doing some gravy on the mashed potatoes. And, I don't know if you put any meat in the green, but I just have to probably slide that ground turkey or turkey neck, whatever you got in them greens. I just have to slide that to the side for the flavor. I probably wouldn't eat them if they had the swine in them. I'd probably still eat them if they had like turkey neck or something like that. I can get around that, but I just can't mess with the swine. The swine, I think the swine got a little crack in it. So I think I'll be afraid to mess with anything that's might have some swine juice in it. I don't want to be back, making bacon again, making sausage and stuff. So, you cook that. You cook that. That's a beautiful thing. So this conversation, I can definitely tell you, it's about to turn. Some of y'all still moving about, y'all doing your thing, and that's a beautiful thing. I appreciate you listening while you're doing. Okay, don't stop what you're doing to listen to me. Please don't. Keep grinding. But the conversation is about to take another turn. But watch how this conversation builds. Watch how this conversation builds, where it even sounds like it's combative, but it's really not combative. It's just two sisters going at it. So the estrogen energy is about to get hot up in here. Okay, the estrogen energy is about to get hot up in here. So watch how this all lays out. This is crazy. Watch this, or listen to this.
The wrong people are the ones who have been able to set themselves up in their businesses to get money to support themselves, to not even help us, not even say a mumbling word about our conditions, the impact, the things that we've been going through. But yet the moment other people start to build and start to get and learn what's going on in these state, local politics, and you start to realize, to build an organization, I need to tap into set asides. I need to know how to get myself set up. I need to know how to get the actual money. People start to get scared. Stop being afraid when you start seeing the big money. Start to understand that $1 million is nothing compared to millions of dollars that these people are going through day in and day out to pretty much do nothing for us and to pretty much genocide us out of existence. That's a fact.
and I really don't like just talking about the dollar, but I appreciate you just bringing that up. What I've come to learn too, I have to look at the age. I have to look at the age of a lot of these people that have been coming at me in that 20s. I don't know why somebody in their 20s even talking to me. They barely old as my kids, but when they be in their 30s and shit, I have to realize that most of them have never touched real money, seen real money, worked around real money. And I guess at this point, it's not even about the dollar to me anymore. It's always about the opportunity, because I know I can make $1. I've shown and proved that literally all my life. I can make $1. But is it really at this point about just making $1 for me? I mean, because I have grandkids and I know my grandkids aren't going to have the same accesses that I had. And I talk up a lot of the shit that I should have talked up 30 years ago. I should have made it more of a proud thing to be the youngest Black man to ever own a restaurant in Ann Arbor. But I thought it was just normal to be a young Black man owning a business. I grew up around a lot of young Black men that own business and grew into old Black men. So I thought it was normal what I was doing. Then I kind of figured out that most Black men weren't owning businesses around me. Most Black men were selling dope. Most Black men were going to work at the plant. Most Black men, you know, they were trying to hold on just to a basic JO, but they weren't owning businesses. What I had seen, though, I had seen most Black men being able to do for themselves, do for their families. So that's what I tried to do. I was just put into a fortunate state to be able to own my own thing, to be able to be at the top of my own food chain at 21 years old. But see, now at 53, that shit didn't mean nothing to anybody back then, just like it don't mean nothing to nobody now. But what I've learned and what I've been able to do is I've owned multiple businesses since then, different types of businesses, not always just restaurants. Hell, I own a dollar store. I own an adult store. I don't own where my marketplace has been. I done been where people haven't gone and will never go. I realize that. And at 53, I'm still a Black man that sits with 2 convictions on his record that holds him from being really who he needs to be. That's why I'm up right now. That's literally why I'm up right now, because in 4 hours, I was supposed to have an expungement hearing. That hearing got canceled the day before. That hearing got canceled the day before. The very hearing that was going to put me back where I needed to be so I could come back to get what I lost and then more just got put off. And don't know when I'm going to have another hearing date. But you think I was going to fucking ball up and cry? No. Couldn't do that. Yeah, I had a fallout. I had an industrial fallout. Pissed off. But I got kids. I got grandkids. I got a woman that needs me to fucking still be here and be strong. So I still hold my nuts on what I do. I'm still going to move with what I move on. But I'm not going to get in these spaces and be bickering with stupid motherfuckers no more. And because I allowed myself to get into those spaces and answer the questions where I thought actually were some halfway sensible people, I just found out they was just fucking clowns. They was just clowns, and I realized they just clowns. That's why I stayed away for months. I don't need to get on this motherfucker every day to prove myself. I don't even need to stream every day to prove myself. I stream because I have a voice and I have a message. And when I deliver that message, I get ripples in the pond. I do what I do. But the main thing for us out here trying to talk about reparations, if it's not done on a collective basis, we're not going to get shit. I don't give a fuck what we want to call ourselves. I don't give a fuck how we want to move. If we want to wear dashikis, we want to wear fezzes, we want to wear berets. We're not going to get a motherfucking thing out here if we don't get on the same page. Does that mean agree with each other all the time? Fuck no. Does that mean like each other? Fuck no. But unless we form a united front against them motherfuckers, and y'all can take them motherfuckers and have them be whoever you want them to be, because those motherfuckers are the motherfuckers that are against reparations. Unless we form a collective unit against those motherfuckers, them motherfuckers, that motherfucker, we're not gonna get shit.
So with that being said, I believe this is where I end up getting a tweet. And then it's going to go in this situation. But the turn up has got to be coming in, because I believe this individual is about to come in and just kind of blow the doors off of something. I think that they might have been listening to the space and just not been able to be in a place to talk. But now I believe that they're going to be in a space to talk. Give me one quick second.
We can sit over here on these apps and fight all goddamn day, and they sitting back laughing at us. They sitting back laughing at us because they know we ain't gonna fucking get out the bag, just like we didn't get out the bag in the 60s, just like we didn't get out the bag in the 70s, just like we didn't get out the bag in the 80s, 90s. And oh, we got a black president. We went further into the bag when Barack Obama got elected. We went further into the bag because that motherfucker hook, lined, and sinkered us. Flat ass, singing ass nigga. Went and got a big booty chick from the South Side and said, I got these niggas. I'm going to rope them in. I'm going to make them feel comfortable, make them feel good, give them this flat ass Al Green up in their churches, and I'm going to get their ass. Now where Obama at? He fucking with Branson. He fucking with Branson. He out on Martha's Vineyard. We still asking for the same shit that John Conyers went to his grave asking for.
Ooh,
repair. Repair.
And,
so
and
fuck
our
these
brother
clown ass niggas out here.
And our brother Kanye was innocent of that rape allegation too.
Absolutely.
And Cloudburn knew about it. And Cloudburn knew about it. And
absolutely. Didn't do shit.
Didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying? Fucking nigga. You know what I mean? Go ahead, though.
Sheila Jackson Lee had a rape in her office. The young intern in her office, first year intern, a black girl. And I don't know if the boy was black or white. I don't know what he was that raped her. And, you know, she went through the protocol and Sheila Jackson Lee got wind of it. And guess what happened? She got rid of the girl. Then when they found out she got rid of the girl, they censured Sheila Jackson Lee. That's why she didn't run the first HR 40 hearing. And that's why the white boys was able to come in there and bring that white boy, the Republicans, bring that white boy who was swinging on them poles on the bus. Y'all remember that? He wore some panties or something. Y'all remember?
Hey, what's up with that Cory Booker Pink thing? Yo, it ain't got nothing to do with New Jersey. I'm sorry.
Please tell me that's Photoshop, dog. Please tell me that's Photoshop.
I met the knacker in real life. I don't know, son. No, son.
I gotta give a shout out to taxation once again. When she says white boy, that's how you know she's old. That's how you know. Or when I say she's an elder, I shouldn't say she's old. Boy, I'm probably catching her. She ends up catching this. She gonna get me. That's how you know she's an elder. When she says white boy and says it so officially. That's what they did to them white boys. That's what they did to them white boys. That's what the white. She's not saying it to be demeaning. She's just, that's what they, I mean, it don't matter what your age is. She gonna call a white man white boy. That's just what it is. That's that generation. That's that shit. That's why I love her. That's why we cooking.
No slow-mo, nigga. No.
I thought I knew that girl was a beard. I knew that girlfriend was a beard. That was definitely not his real chick. I knew that was a beard. And I really, like I said, I try to stay out of people's bedrooms.
Who was that? Rosario Dawson, right?
Yeah. I try to stay out of people's bedrooms.
Hey, yo, real quick. My one of my doctors look like her, yo. Real shit, yo.
You going for physicals more than once a year?
I ain't been in a minute and shit. I need to do it to get that check for the winter time settling. You know what I'm saying? Get it in and shit. You know what I'm saying? Make sure my everything's straight and shit. You know what I mean?
I got you. Right. I got you. No, I just feel like we spin in our wheels with all the arguing, the debate, and try to figure out who's this, who's that, who's those. It's some crazy shit to me. I've never thought that we would have got to the stage, to the point where the biggest debate is, who is you? Who is you? And why are you doing it this way? Just be thankful I'm here. Just be thankful I'm doing it anyway. And the fact that I'm not trying to cross up the movement, why would you even care what I call myself? Why would it even matter what I call myself? And why the fuck do you need to know about my ancestors? Because if I can't show and prove, what you gonna do? And if I can't show and prove, what you gonna do? Because the federal government's gonna prove whether I can get reparations or not. That's who's gonna prove it. I don't need you to prove shit to me. You can't move shit. Most of these motherfuckers will never get to the points that I've gotten to. And I ain't been nowhere, but I've been somewhere. So for them to sit up and try to argue with me and debate with me about who's in Washtenaw County, who's in Wayne County, why ain't you fucking with Detroit? Why ain't you? You some dumb niggas. You dumb. You stupid. You slow. I play home games. I'm from Washtenaw County. And when they said they wanted specifically Detroit residents to fuck with the Detroit Reparations Task Force, that's what they got. That's what they got. But you got 77% black people. But that 23%, that 23% holds more power than that 77%.
Period.
And prove I'm wrong. Prove I'm wrong.
Nah, you ain't wrong, bro. You spitting the bars for sure. You know what I mean? Who that? Go ahead, Sister Stiletto. You ain't in my space. You ain't got to raise your hand. Just say I got
space about to turn right here, y'all. This is where the space turns. This is where the ladies really kind of take over. I'm gonna duck out. Actually, I ain't even gonna really take a break. I'm just gonna mute my mic and take my camera out for a quick second. But Sister Stiletto is about to get busy, so let it rock. And shout out to Sister Stiletto. She checked this out with Solidarity over there in the Boston area, doing crazy work over there on the deep East Coast. So I wanted to get to this part right here because this is really a lot of why we were even in the space. Initially, I wasn't in the initial part of the space or even on the first space, but this is why, because Sister Stiletto is in Boston and she's about to cook on it. And for those who didn't know, they will now know. So if you didn't know, now
Good morning, everybody. How are you? I had been listening.
Got some
How you doing? I'm got omelets. I got home fries. All kinds of stuff going on over here. No, this is my time in the morning. I usually get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and cook for my mom. I'm on my way out of town, so my flight leaves at like 7:30. But I just wanted to get in before I wasn't able to speak. Some people do this work from the bottom of their heart and not looking for any accolades or financial rewards. Our team is that. We never look for any money, and we're really not interested in getting money for our own pockets. So it's very quite possible that money is not a motivator for some people. When we embarked on this journey for here in Connecticut, we never were looking for money. And we always have said that we would forgo any money as long as the community was educated. And that's what we do. So we're not scared of money. We have our own little money. We just don't want to get into what we just got into. And this is the prime reason why we didn't want to get into money. Because as soon as you mention money or as soon as you take money, it seems like you're a puppet to somebody or you have to answer to somebody. And it seems like the community, the black community ourselves, are the people we have to answer to the most. If you notice, most of the arguments have come about when money was a factor or money came into the picture. And then we have everybody's grifting, California grifting, this person's grifting, that person's grifting. So we purposely kept a very, very low threshold as far as any money. We don't get money from anybody. We don't have donations. We don't solicit money. We don't let people solicit on our pages. So we do that on purpose because black people seem to always argue about money. And to me, it's disgusting. And to me, I'd rather have unity. I'd rather have results. I'd rather see something done versus worrying about who's going to get paid what and so forth and so on. So I myself, I don't really think it takes a lot of money to get this stuff done to educate your people. And that's what me and my team are primarily trying to do, educate our people. And when we go in the community and when we're educating people, it is really not that much because it doesn't cost that much to get it done. We have folders with information in it. We have workshops. We have a book club. So I'm just kind of confused as to why money is the main factor for reparations when all we're trying to do is get the policy corrected, lobby, legislate, and make sure that our people are educated. So I'm the total opposite of what I've been hearing this morning since I've been getting dressed. It doesn't take a lot of money to educate your people and get policies into places. And I could be wrong. I'm just saying that we've been successful so far with a very low budget, with a personal budget. We didn't get any money to get the policies and the legislation done that we have so far. So I just feel like
I don't even think you have.
I'm not done yet. Wait. I wasn't done yet. So I do believe when it comes to the consultant level, like Boston is asking in their RFP for researchers, they're looking for academia. They're looking for power professionals. So I do believe there's some level of compensation that that's due, whatever. But all this high budget, high dollar salary stuff that people don't make in their own lives is just ridiculous. And that to me does appear to be a grift. That does appear to be, I'm saying you're doing it for money back. Because I know, like with Dr. Darity, He clearly didn't want anybody on the HR 40 commission to receive salary. That was one of his biggest things. Why should you get $250,000 to sit on a commission to talk about reparations at the federal level? We totally believed in that. And we didn't believe in local reparations until when we seen what's going on and our names weren't mentioned. And when I say our names, descendants of chattel slavery in the U.S. wasn't mentioned on any bills or any proposals. So that's how we got involved. We wanted to make sure we were represented, whether it's whether you want to call yourself American freedman, Negro, whatever, so forth, so on. We are all American freedmen, whether people want to believe it or not. However, none of the proposals had descendants of slavery or chattel slavery in the U.S. It had black enslaved, African enslaved, which was giving a broad perspective for everybody in the African diaspora to get reparations. And that's how I got involved here in my hometown in Boston when I seen the Flynn Plan. And to be perfectly honest with you, the 3 bills that we have and all the moving we did around, we may have spent $1,500. May have. I'm not sure because we don't count because we don't care about the money. The money doesn't matter to us. So I just want to correct the record and just show that the progress that we got done did not cost millions of dollars. And the work that needs to be done doesn't really cost millions of dollars. We need to get people to unite. We need to get people educated. That doesn't cost millions of dollars. And so what I was facing when I seen the budget or the fictitious budget or fake budget that was given to me, none of that stuff was going to be required to even get the RFP done. The RFP was consulting for research. And just like what Reggie said last night, and let me just for the record, me and Reggie don't even get along. But Reggie came through last night and explained the budget was clearly for researchers. They're not looking for average everyday people. They're looking for high quality people who have expertise and knowledge in those time periods for American freedmen. So the bottom line is they weren't paying for a communication specialist. They weren't paying for a chief advisor. They weren't paying for advertising. They weren't paying for outreach. And that's what I could not get people to understand. They don't care about that stuff. They want to make sure that you can get the information in the most professional, clean, and concise way to be a research consultant to split a budget of $500,000, now $600,000. So I hope that really explains things. I hear people talking about it requires money, you need money. You don't need money to educate your people and do a proposal and also get policy done. It takes a lot of tenacity, it takes a lot of hard work, and it just really takes a true heart and having an integrity and not putting money before anything. So I'll land right now so somebody else can. Thank you.
So I'm gonna say this. And
all right, so before Sisterella cooks, I had to come back in here. I just wanted to say something real quick. Let me just go ahead and jump up real quick. Sister Antonia has been doing the work over there in Boston for a minute. And to go through what she's gone through with individuals that she's gone through it with is kind of crazy to me. I came in so late. I wasn't coming in to try to pick sides. I wasn't trying to come in to get the information so I could be nosy. I just don't like being in conversations and not knowing what's going on. I don't like people talking past me. I don't like this person sitting over here and then this person sitting over here and them having a conversation and I'm in the middle of it and I'm hearing it, but I don't know what's popping. So my thing was to make sure that I knew what I was going into. So when I got into the space, I heard, excuse me, just bit my tongue. That was bad news. Ooh, that was bad. My grandma used to say, your tongue just be flapping, don't it? Your tongue just be flapping. When I used to be talking, my tongue was just flapping. So I just bit my tongue. Sorry about that, y'all. Dang, right on the air. So Sister Antonia, has gone through some things recently dealing with some folks, and the main thing is it got a little personal, I guess, online and all that. I missed all that. I missed it all. So I was really trying to just catch up on the build, and not to take sides, but just to get all the information in, because my job is not to be in here to take sides. I'm critical of everybody. I'm critical of everything. I'm critical of myself. So I just wanted to find out what was popping, and I'm glad she was able to break it down. They started sending me DMs and all kinds of stuff to get me up to speed, and it took me a day or so to really listen to all the stuff that had been said, and then I kind of knew. So at that point, I kind of knew. So I was caught up. But Sister Antonia just spoke. Now Sister Rella's about to speak, and this is where the conversation, I believe, is about to get really, really good. Really, 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 really good.
In regards to so many
Well,
other
you
people
did
having a
good,
different
Paul.
perspective, I think on even what California did, they always talked about money for budget for doing certain things like media and things like that, right? And if in fact different people have a different perspective on what happens to set asides, why is it an issue? I think that is my problem with us. If you are able to have a lower budget to get stuff done, I think that's great. But did that mean that could you have utilized more money and more funds and not be stretched thin in some areas? I think so. I think that we look at it as well because it's a lower amount and we were able to do, we were able to do a little, a lot with a little, that sometimes that's a good thing when it could have been, what if you had enough resources where you didn't have to be stretched thin? Because if other groups are getting resources to move fluidly, not struggle busly, why is that an issue? Why is that a problem? What is wrong with putting together a budget where people actually are doing this? And let's say you actually need to now have a salary because this is something that's going to take you away from having a 9 to 5, but we're utilizing your skills and expertise. So this is what you do on an everyday basis because it's already implemented in the budget. What's wrong with that? What is the
So
problem?
can I answer that? Camilla didn't get paid. Camilla left her a full-time job to get this work done because she was so invested
But
in it.
is that right
So
though?
wait, I'm not done yet. So what I'm saying is that there was no compensation for that task force, and look what they produced.
But
So
what
what
I'm
I'm saying
saying
to
to
you
you
is,
is I understand that, but I'm asking you a question that
So when they got on right there, I wanted to break in, but I really didn't want to. I didn't want to interrupt the bill. I didn't want to disrupt the bill, but Camilla didn't take a salary. No, she got stipends and all that stuff, but they got to also understand that people that are financially fit, when they're financially fit, they're not even looking to take a salary. She really did just want to do the work, but they very should. Is that a good phrase? Very should. They very should or very well should pay her for her time, pay her for her gas or whatever, let her send in some expense tickets or whatever, because she is indeed doing the work of the people for the people. So there should be some type of stipend there. But a lot of people around the country was jumping on her because they thought she was getting big money to be a part of the task force when she wasn't getting shit. The people are up there doing this shit on the cuff before I believe they even negotiated any money from the state. So it was just so much illogical behavior or illogical thought processes. I do know this much. I am up on this stuff because I remember when people was trying to say that she was getting all this money to be a part of reparations this and reparations that, and they didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. And I just knew Sister Camilla was going to be like, fuck y'all, I got a law career and I can go back into my law career. I don't need to be fucking with you. And she didn't. She stayed with it. And hopefully she does stay with it. Because, I know she got a lot of clown shit to deal with up there in Northern California. So hopefully, she does. And she is actually able to stay with it, because I know it can get hella frustrating. It can get hella frustrating when you're dealing with a lot of clown ass shit. And she's dealt with a lot of clown ass shit. And I am not happy that she's had to deal with that clown ass shit. So appreciate anybody that's been in here for a minute. All y'all been listening. People been cooking dinner. People been working. People been moving around. Appreciate you. We've been in here for a second. We've been in here for a second, and we're gonna keep cooking because this conversation is gonna get better and from where it's already been. And hopefully you've enjoyed the build. This is a Twitter space that we did last week, where I was a part of last week, put on by News Totter and WPI, aka DJ Szechuan. So yeah, this. Check this out. Let's just keep cooking on this, and then we're going to keep moving.
Very small sentence. Do you think that was right? Because if we're talking about integrity, the sacrifices, she willingly left her job to do this work, right? Which was very taxing. I talked to Camilla a lot.
Yes.
And at the same time, the supplemental income could have supplemented her job that she actually sacrificed to leave. Just because she took it upon herself in integrity to do it does not mean that if it was not written in the budget that she should have got it. She should have gotten compensated and people should have had an issue with it.
I personally don't think that people in the reparations movement should get into this game looking for supplemental income or replacement income. In my heart, I don't believe that. I believe that if you want to get this done, get it done because it's the right
Somebody
thing to
got to
do.
mute their
And,
mic.
and when people are looking for $100,000, just do a job, not what the budget to cost to get it done. There's a difference. So I'm going to just use this as an example. If you say I want a salary of $200,000, but I need a budget of $125,000, I could see the city or state paying for the budget to get the work done, but not a salary to replace a salary that you need to have or to compensate a salary that you or supplement it. So, for instance, if I go to the city of Boston and I say, I need money for outreach, they're going to look at me and they're going to laugh. It's not their job for them to help me educate my people. It's not for nobody's going to help Black people fight for reparations or build reparations. And as far as those other organizations are coming in saying that they are the scholars, they are the experts on our lineage. That's how they're getting the money. They're not doing any outreach. They're not doing any outreach other than doing organizational stuff about all Black Lives Matter. I've been to the symposium. I've been to the meetings and the conferences where they're trying to build a narrative that all Black people should get reparations. But other than that, as far as community outreach for what's on, let's just say our RFP, none of those organizations are doing that. So if we had a budget to get that stuff done, heck yeah, that would be great. We would have billboards. Some of these things we've talked about as a team, billboards, they would be on the MBTA buses, the transit buses. We would have money to get that done. But no community, no government agency is going to pay Black people to educate their Black people on fighting them for reparations or their history. And so in my heart, and I'm just saying me and what my team believes, you shouldn't be looking to fill a salary that you don't have right now to compensate you for doing community outreach for your people, to educate your people, or to supplement your income. Now, when it comes to sitting on the commission or the task force, our task force gets stipends. They don't get paid, just like California. And guess what? They only meet once a month. It doesn't take that much time out of their life to meet every month. They're not doing the research here in Boston, my task force. They're outsourcing it or having people bid for it through the RFP. All their job is to compile the information and come up with recommendations. A little bit different from California. So I think that goes to somebody's integrity. That goes into somebody's heart, whether or not they feel as though that's grifting. I don't know. I just feel like you shouldn't be looking for this as a
I
salary.
don't think it goes into anybody's integrity because I think that's why there's miscommunication. I believe that it's just you have different people who believe in different things, but then you also have people who are in government who look at budgets every day and people are bidding for them every day and they're not having those arguments. There's not a Twitter space about millions of dollars being spread across other organizations
Somebody
and
got
how
to
they're spending the money.
Hold on.
Mute your mic up. Mute your mic up for just a sec. And so
somebody get off the Bluetooth.
yeah. And so at the end of the day, that's I think where everybody is and reason why people get into this whole, well, folks is grifting, somebody's got money, they stealing the money and this, that, and the third. So it's an issue because people do not know that money is being spent in organizations for those organizations to run fluidly in the way that they're running it because Black people have this condition that somehow it's morally wrong for you to be paid for work that you do based on your skill set if it's in the requirement in the budget. Like, I don't think that is an integrity issue.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, what I'm saying to you is it's an integrity issue when you're asking for hundreds of thousands, six-figure figures to either replace or supplement your income. It's not a full-time job. It doesn't require your 9 to 5, 7 days a week, 365. So to me, the things that I have been seeing or people have been proposing was a grift, was a money bag. And I'm sorry that anybody may think that's not the case. If you really are into this work, especially if you don't live in the state, So if you can't be on the ground every day and people can't see you perform this job that you're requesting $100,000 for, that to me is a money back grab. In order for you to request that kind of money, you need to be present on the ground showing that your work is being successful. So for us, we are on the ground. And so if we're on the ground in Boston and we don't care about being paid, we couldn't comprehend for the life of us why somebody out of state would want to be paid six figures to tell us what to do on the ground when we've been so successful all this time. So that's how we looked at it in our sense. And maybe it's just a bitter taste in our throat, you're saying, of the fact of the inflated budget. Because as you've seen in our particular case, our budget was $500,000 for the RFP, not for the community advisor, for the RFP everybody keeps talking about. And then it bumped up to $600,000. You could never supersede that. You could never supersede that by asking for $1.3 million. That's a money grab. And it doesn't matter how much expertise you have. If a city municipality says, this is our budget, that's their budget. You can't go and say, well, I think I'm worth $1.3 million. Pay me that. Okay, or the least I'll take is $800,000. It was the superseding of the existing budget that was a bit much or egregious. Like, basically, the city doesn't know what they're talking about. We need to be paid $1.3 million, and we won't accept anything less than $800,000. So I guess if people humble themselves, because I'm humble, I'm not in it for the fix. I'm not in it for the money. I guess it would have been a little bit more receptive. But the conversations that everybody heard yesterday, for instance, with Mr. Arthur and Gid, that's what we were getting. And that was a bit much to swallow when you're talking to people who don't even live in your city and state or haven't done the work that you've done, who are demanding these high dollar salaries to tell us what to do on the phone. And if they did have to come see us, they wanted first class flights, they wanted 5-star hotels, they wanted top of the line, restaurants and the most expensive bottle of wine. That is a money grab. And that makes us look really bad. And one thing my grandmother used to say, you can't do what them white people do. You can't do what them other people do. I never look at what other people do and like, we're going to do this because they're doing that. I do the best I can and with the most integrity for my people. And everything we do, we try to include everybody, as many people we can in. I don't care about the Pan-Africans getting money. I don't care about that. I care about while the Pan-Africans are getting money, our people aren't being educated. Our people have no civic education, no political education, no lobbying experience. So I'm trying to get people on board to fight for themselves. Our people are in a catatonic state and have been for the last 55 years. I don't care about money. I walk around like a Jehovah Witness with my folders trying to educate people on a daily basis. I'm getting ready to travel. I got 6 folders in my pocketbook right now and 10 in my book bag. So it doesn't cost to get that done, to educate people and pass the word around. And that's what we're missing across the grassroots organization.
So I cut Sister Antonia off because I want her to finish cooking, but I haven't had a comment in the chat for a while. And that could just be because the conversation is so thorough. But is the audio still decent? I want to make sure that the audio, is actually still decent. If you can hear it, if anybody's close to their device, I know some people are out here working, some people are out here moving. Please do not text. Please do not say nothing to me while you driving in the car, especially in Washington County. If you got your phone in your hand, they're trying to give you tickets. Actually, it's a statewide thing. They don't want your phone in your hand nowhere in the state. So please do not do that. Let me go ahead and beat this drum here. Put this up. Just making sure we still functioning in here. Are we still functioning in here? I think we're still functioning in here. I would hope we're still functioning in here. But let me just double back and get my screen up again. Because this is where we at. This is what we've been talking about. This is what we've been on, for over 2.5 hours now. Listening to this ridiculous space that I was in, and we were building in it. We here. All right. Appreciate you, Kai Stone. Thank you. Thank you. How'd your dinner turn out? Are you still whipping it up? You still whipping it up? I appreciate you. I just want to make sure that audio was still good. Okay, so Kai Stone just gave me the confirmation, and that's a beautiful thing. So let me get the screen share ready. Get back in there. Get back in there. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. Let's put it back in play here. Add it to the stage. All right, we're going to cook. We only got a little bit of this left. Shoot, we only got 30 minutes of this stream left. And I think I stayed to the end. I think I did. This mug might even cut off. I can't even remember how it actually ended. I know I didn't fall asleep. But let Sister Antonia cook. And if I'm not mistaken, I get back in here and say a little something before it's all said and done. Appreciate you, Kai Stone. Thank you for hanging in there with me and anybody else that's actually out here in the book, on the book, in YouTube, Twitter, or even, social, since we shared it to social earlier. One love.
Everybody wants to sit on social media, but there's nobody on the ground. And we look very dysfunctional because we're not united. We're not united at all. We look crazy as I don't know what. And the funny thing is, again, me and Reggie don't even get along. And he said everything I was trying to get people to understand. We look crazy. So because of all this social media stuff and fighting back and forth, our whole thing is blown. It's blown. And it seems like it was a concerted effort to do so. These people are looking at us like you can't even agree about what you want to be called. You're arguing about a bag that doesn't even exist. We look ridiculous. We look crazy fighting over money. And we look crazy fighting over who we want to be called and so forth and so on social media. And it's just really sad. So I don't put money first.
I gotta
yes,
ask before you get out of here.
Sure.
I mean, this is why I'm late on this stuff, and I didn't mean to cut anybody off, Brother Sean. I definitely want to. I'm gonna fall back because this brother's had his hand up, but I've got to answer a question. Somebody tweeted me a question, and I want to answer it thoroughly, but I don't want to step on anybody. Who are the people? Who are the people that are asking for salaries for sporadic work? I mean, can we name those people? Can you back channel me on these? And
sure.
I don't want.
Well, we can.
I don't want to be misled in anything, and maybe this is why some people are trying to come at me about whether it be Gabe or Naheem or anybody. But I want to know people that are literally looking for, especially people that are out of state. Why are you looking for money to come to a state that you're not a resident in? And so we don't even need to have this conversation right now. You can wait, get your flight, get landed. I just want to know.
Oh no, I'm fine.
These individuals.
Oh no, I'm fine.
Because at this point right now, this is part of our problem, and it's what I'm going to speak on when I do answer the question. But please just do that because I'm out of the loop on this. I stayed out of Twitter Spaces for months just for my own sanctity, not because I couldn't, not because I can't compete with other screaming Negroes, but I mean I just chose not to. It's a matter of and I feel like I have a level of professionalism that I don't need to be up here yelling against people that are supposed to be on the same side of the team with me. But it is what it is. So I want to let these other people speak, but I'll come back up because I want to answer this question that somebody asked me because I think it's a genuine question. So Brother Sean had his hand up for a minute. We both had our hands up. I had to switch devices and then get back up on the stage. So just break that down if you can hear. If it's not going to ruffle nobody's feathers, if it is going to ruffle somebody's feathers, then by all means back channel it. And you know how we build, so we don't even have to. I just need to know, like, if we got people out here doing that, that's destructive as fuck to be out here looking for monies.
That's what I said.
And I mean, I'm not saying it's temp work, but you're not even in that state, so you definitely not boots on the ground.
Right.
You're not boots on the ground. We don't get you boots in cyberspace. I mean, that's crazy. So okay.
Yes. So I'm just gonna say this: News Tower gave a Spaces last evening. And you can go back and look at it. And it was Gabe's at whatever wanting to go over the allegations of the budget for Boston and the lies. I say they're the misconceptions. So you can listen to the whole recording on Chowder.
I will.
It was last night.
Since the space started or since I came up.
Sure, please, because I think that you'll hear all the details.
Yeah, I'll listen to that then.
And you're pretty good. You can DM me and tell me what you think. But we had an opportunity to be community advisors and educate 22 communities in Boston on the American freedman lineage, because that's what I got in our bill here, okay? So when I was asked to do it, it was asked for me to do it as a personal job.
All right, so I had to stop it right there because that's what's important to me. Sister Antonia has done the work in Boston to get that language right in everything that they're rolling out as far as reparative justice on the state level. Getting the language right is how you lay the groundwork. Getting the language right is how you start the narrative. Getting the language right is how you control the narrative. If you do not have the language right from the beginning, your movement will be shit. If you do not get the language right and get the qualifications right, you are not going to have a movement, whether it be locally or whether it be nationally. And people need to understand that this ain't just about Black people. This just ain't about POC, BIPOC, minorities, African Americans, because they can call a lot of people that, and does not necessarily mean that they are descendants of enslaved individuals. She's got that language in there, which is the proper language of being an American freedman. And that's what you have to have. When they start just talking about Black people, when they start talking about minorities, when they even say African Americans, get leery. Get leery. Sometimes you may have to use that term just to be concise in the space. Okay? And I always say, I'll say it to be concise and nice, but I'm not going to let you call me that. That's not what I allow myself to be called. So I'll say it to be concise and nice. But after I'm concise and nice, I'm going to put it on ice. I'm an American freedman. It is what it is. So I'm going to let Sister Antonia get to cooking again.
And I'm like, I brought my portfolio and I brought the information I have for all the networks or the teams that I work with. So I'm like, this is bigger than this. We have a network of grassroots organizations that the resources to me that I work with. I like to bring everybody to you. And they told me to build a team and come to them and meet. When I met, we were meeting about being community advisors, educators. I chose freedmen descendants of Chicago, which I found out no longer exists. They don't have an organization there, they told me. They said that they just do work and they just work together. I did not know that at the time. I thought that that's what it was. And so because I had showcased Mr. Arthur's Freedmen Absolute information, I thought it was really important to include him. Plus, he helped me behind the scenes fine-tune our proposal. And I put his name on our proposal to pay homage to him. And then, of course, I went to United Sons and Daughters because they're building a curriculum anyways. So this was to educate the community on our lineage and American freedmen because I got it into the bill. Okay, that was phase one. In that, there was supposed to be an RFP that was coming in down the line. So that was part two. So the whole thing is when we started meeting with them, the budget was the first thing they wanted to discuss, and Gabe admitted it in spaces. He said, we don't know what a budget's going to be like, what the RFP is going to be like. Let's start putting a budget together. And that's what he put together, a fictitious budget. And I keep saying fictitious because it's fake. It wasn't anything that was real. And what I'm saying real is it doesn't make any sense because it doesn't match what the city budget is. First of all, it's double the amount. And he was saying these are pieces on the budget that need to be addressed. We need a CEO, Antonia. We need a chief advisor, Mr. Arthur. We need a community communications expert, which is Gabe. We need educators, which are the United Sons and Daughters. And this is what it's going to talk. And these are take to make this happen. And these entities would get a salary. And so this is why they don't give Black people money, or why they're reluctant to give Black people money. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have a product. How can you put in a bid for something to somebody and you don't have a tangible product? The only people that have a tangible product and on this team that I built was United Sons and Daughters. And I knew that from day one. And that's why I really believed in them and relied on them, because they were the only ones that were producing a product and never asked for a dime. So if you look at Towler's cases from last night, I put all the information that I had in the Jumbotron. And also, if you listen to it, it'll explain to you what was going on behind the scenes. And it was about a budget that was created to make this happen. And Mr. Arthur and Gabe last night were really explaining that basically people don't understand how city works, whatever, so on. And any city work that you do, whatever, requires a budget. and so forth and so on. But they were missing the point. The city wasn't asking us to be on an RFP to be community advisors. What I was asked to do was based on our work, would we consider to be community advisors? And we hadn't discussed money yet. So the $1.3 million budget that they created was just inflated, fictitious, and it was a money grab to me. And that's all. And that's why I was reluctant to even go further with them. And that's just it.
Uh,
And those are my reasons. You're out of state. You haven't done any work. Where's your tangible item? Just because I can say that, okay, they did this. You know what I'm saying? I can see California asking for $1.3 million or Camilla Moore. I can't see somebody that doesn't have any legislation in their own state that they didn't work on demanding or Boston to pay them $1.3 million to pull this off. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. I will listen to the space. I'm too far behind to try to catch up right now. So I will methodically catch up to what's been going on. And like I said, when them dudes and chicks was at me in a space a couple weeks ago, well, maybe like 7 to 10 days ago, I literally had no idea what they were even talking about with Gabe and Naheem, and I think Arthur's name got mentioned, but I had no idea what they were, because I'm just too disconnected from this shit. I come here for the business. I don't come here for the bullshit. And when it got to be more bullshit than business, I just walked away. Twitter is like, it's nothing to me. It's like, it can be something, but it's really nothing. And so to find out that all of this stuff is going on, I'm just trying to methodically come back and figure out where we went wrong. And Brother Sean, Brother Sean, please, speak your piece, because I want to get this off. Somebody just asked me a very organic question, and I want to answer this question so I can but I don't like stepping on people. I know brother don't mind nobody just popping in without raising their hand, but this is the decorum I try to hold on. I see hands, I try to make sure those people get in there. So Brother Sean, I know you got to cook, and then I'll come back and answer this question.
Hey, y'all continue the conversation. It's more important what I got to say. Y'all hashing out some very key points that I'm actually learning and getting more information. Go ahead.
Okay, so I got a tweet, and let me just run it back real quick here. I got a tweet, and I appreciate this person tweeted this. It's righteous anger long overdue. I don't know if they're still in the space or not. Righteous anger long overdue. It says, Friedman Media, I'm in the space with you right now. Please, may I respectfully ask of you to educate me on what a collective front in regards to reparations is comprised of. No shade being thrown. I earnestly am asking, and thank you. I appreciate that question. I appreciate the way you asked it.
Just real quick before you answer that, hey, Disruptor, fix your phone so I can bring you up here. But go ahead.
So collective front means, because I hear collective uplift all the time. Collective uplift. Excuse me, my mouth is running together. It's probably 5 o'clock and I need something to drink, but I ain't got nothing close to me. So I want to run this.
I was dry that morning, y'all.
Collective front means that we need everybody that says they're for reparations to be on the side for reparations. Now, a collective front, we're talking everybody, whether it be just common folk, to your elevated folk, your politicians, your preachers, your teachers, educators, professors, anybody that says they're for reparations needs to be in that collective front. It can't just be grassroots people. We're not going to move one iota without elected officials, without appointed officials, without the clergy. If we're talking about one of our most powerful units of individuals in this country, it's still the Black church. The Black church still holds dominion. When it needs to pull 1 million people together, the Black church can do it before any other body. And for some reason, the Black church won't talk about reparations on a collected level. So when we talk about collective fronts, we need to, I'm talking about the law enforcement, everybody. If you are a descendant, we need you, if you in law enforcement, to be talking about repair, because there's elements of reparations that needs to come through, obviously, in law enforcement. There's elements of reparations that needs to come through in education. There's elements of reparations that are in everything. But see, for some reason, everybody just looks at the big Ed McMahon Publisher Clearinghouse check. and think that that's what we need. Yeah, of course we need that fucking bread, but we need policy and legislation up and down the board. Because without all of that, the money's just going to go back to the system that's fucked us over for the last 400 plus years. So we have to have the education. We have to have everything, and we have to have the access into this system called America. We can't just get cut a check, because all they're going to do is cut us a check, cut us off from the banking industry, and say, you know what? You can cash your reparations check at the check cashing place. But we can't let you put that money in the bank. We can't let you make no money off that money. You can't use that money for real estate. They can absolutely give us the money, but if we can't use it fruitfully, we'll be right back where we were. So the whole point is having a collective front means that we need all the people in this whole equation to be united. Doesn't mean that you're going to be in every march, in every task force, in every whatever. But when you're putting a meeting together and you're talking about reparations in your area, you better pull some black policemen in there. You better pull some black preachers in there. You better pull the black politicians in your area in there. You better. You can't just do it on grassroots people. You can't do it on hourly based and salaried people. You've got to do it on the elevated people. If you're talking about on the local end, you got to do it on the with elevated people in your area. If you're talking about national stuff, but you want to sit there and fight Dr. Darity, why? Why would you fight the very person that they're willing to listen to? No, bring him to the table and say, hey, Doc, this is really what we're trying to get across. Of course you're going to have opposition. He's a fucking scholar. Scholars generally think for themselves. So you're not going to get him to agree with everything that you say. But can you walk away with the same understanding that you're on the same team? You're trying to get the same thing? Absolutely. He wouldn't have wrote the fucking book if he didn't mean it. He wouldn't have done all the speeches and done all the work that he's done all these years if he didn't mean it. Stop questioning that man's credibility and questioning whether he's down or not. He's not going to put on a leather jacket. He's not going to put on a beret. He's not going to put on a fez. He's not going to put on a kufi. He can't put on none of that shit. Let Dr. Darity be who the fuck he is, a scholar. So hopefully I answered that question for the individual righteous anger, long overdue. Hopefully I answered that question for you, because that's what I see when I see collective front. We've got to absolutely all be on the same page where reparations is concerned. We've got to be on the same side of the street where reparations is concerned. It has nothing to do with agreeing with one another 100% of the time, because that's not going to happen. It has nothing to do with us liking one another 100% of the time, because that's not going to happen. It has nothing to do with us calling ourselves the same thing, because that's not going to happen. But as soon as we get a crack in the armor of what we're trying to do, the very people who pry it open, it's not them, it's us. We don't go fix that crack. We crack it open. We bust it wide open. Stop blaming white people for fucking our shit up. We fucking our shit up. And they know we fucking our shit up. They know it. And they letting us do it over and over and over and over again. We doing their work. Their job is to try to fuck us up. No, we do it before they can get to it. We'll take care of that for you. That's exactly where we are in this bitch. We fucking ourselves up before the white man can come in and even do his own goddamn work.
Yes, sir, master. Yes, sir, boss. What you want me to do? Fuck these niggas up, boss.
Period.
So, Freeman, when you go back to listen to, it'll be interesting to see what your perspective is after you hear the space. Because what I heard was the argument was really over miscommunication, over really getting out a good budget, and actually putting and then getting down to the brass tacks of how to meet the budget within the requirements, I guess, of the county, or within Boston's requirements, I guess. And then that the document got leaked prior to you guys further having that conversation, and then everything just blew up from there.
Okay.
That's not true. First of all, there was never a request for a budget. And Gabe said that. He said that once I asked him or them to have a level of commitment, the first thing they wanted to do was put a budget together.
Somebody got the jank
But a
phone.
budget for what? There was
Say
no
that, say
RFP.
that all over again. I didn't hear a damn thing. You know what
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. First of all, that's not true. There was never a request for a budget. When I asked for their level of commitment, United Sons and Daughters, the first thing that Gabe said, and he said it in the spaces, was let's stop putting a budget together. Let's start putting things together because we don't know what they're gonna ask or whatever for an RFP that was coming way down the line. They missed the mark because we were talking about community engagement, community advisory capacity first, and that's what I keep saying. So the budget that was being created was Gabe's idea based on his expertise, which he thought was a priority, which never was. And there was never a proposal that was submitted on behalf of that coalition of freedmen descendants of Chicago, United Sons and Daughters, and Solidarity, because there wasn't a need to at that time. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. And if you listen to what Gabe said, he's saying the same exact thing that I'm saying. Oh, Antonia, you have an opportunity to do a project. Oh, and there's an RFP coming. Oh, okay, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we put everything together? Let's, we don't know what they're asking for. Let's put the cart before the horse and let's put a budget together so we can see how much it would cost to pull this off. Okay, so the first thing is the first project, there was no budget. There was no proposal that they contributed to. They created a slide deck to introduce us on our first meeting, July 16th. And that's what Cynthia assisted Gabe in doing. I have it. It's a PowerPoint presentation. This is Antonia. This is Mr. Arthur. This is Gabe. This is Jonathan, whatever. And our backgrounds. That's a introduction PowerPoint for a team meeting. Okay. The second meeting was to discuss how they felt about everything that happened at the task meeting and how we proceed going forward. Okay, and then we never met again. And then after that meeting on July 21st, the draft of the RFP came out. I went to the meeting and I sent it to everybody. And that's the budget that was the RFP that they were predicting that would come out. But the budget for the city of Boston for their task force was $500,000. And so they had already said that they wouldn't do it, saying that it was going to cost $1.3 million based on their expertise to pull this off. And then when Mr. Arthur seen the budget at $500,000, he said, I would never do this for less than $800,000. So this is the problem. If the combined budget for the 6 units or 6 time periods for 6 organizations is $500,000, and that's $80,000 divided by 6, they were never going to be able to do it with those fictitious numbers and the budget, whatever. That's what I'm trying to explain. So it's okay to say you won't do it for less than $800,000, and we can go our separate ways. There would be no way in the world that I would present a budget to my city for people to live out of state for $1.3 million because they feel my city has the money. And that's what they said. The city of Boston has the money. We looked them up. They have enough money. They should raise their budget for this work to be done. And they're not understanding that the budget is divided by the 6 units.
So I just got to cook real quick on this, because now that I know everything about this situation and I've literally talked to Sister Antonia on this situation, I feel confident in being able to talk in this space, because we're not going to be in here too much longer. This space was about this space, this whole Twitter space that I was a part of. That's what this whole live stream was about. Might have been boring to a lot of people, but I showed how we can actually get in there and build. And even when we didn't agree with one another, we didn't have to call each other out the names, get to calling somebody's mama name, get to saying, I know where you live. I'm outside your house. I'm on my phone. And, no, come on, man. We don't need to do that. As grown folks, we don't need to do that. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure that I understood everything before I even did this stream, because it was going to come to a point where I was going to have to say what I felt. Because what I feel is I feel that the people in Chicago were off-putting, to say the least. And see, I wasn't a part of any of those Zoom calls or anything that they had popping, but I do know that they were off-putting to the people of Boston. And it seemed as if they were looking like the kind of season the movement, season the moment. I'm not sure exactly if it was trying to take it all over, but it just seems like there were some situations that were not quite clear, and communication got all jacked up, you know. And when they start tossing all the dollars and stuff around, that don't mean nothing to me. You know, the build is what the most important thing is to me. I don't care about the dollars, because that's money that nobody had. And it's money that nobody has right now. It's not like somebody, but I kept hearing about people stealing money. I heard somebody stole some money from somebody. Somebody stole some money from an organization. Come on, man. I was just trying to find out get to the bottom of that. And once I got to the bottom of that, then I felt more comfortable to be able to speak about it today. Sister Antonia definitely has a reason to feel the way she's feeling, and I'm glad she's in a better space now. I would hope, this is my hope, because I'm not really the kumbaya king, but I do want to see us all working together in this space for reparative justice. I would hope at some point folks are able to get back on the same wavelength. And like I said, you might not be able to sit with each other at the table no more. Maybe you got to sit over here, and then this person got to sit over here, or this group sits over here. And so, however y'all got to make it work, I think you're all valuable voices in the movement. But you might not be able to mess with each other on a one-on-one basis. But collectively, I think we need the numbers. We need the people who are real in this median. And I want to say shout out to my brother Otis, the elder from the bunker. Okay, I appreciate him sharing my video. I believe it was on Facebook. He shared my video. I don't get a lot of shares on Facebook. Don't get a lot of shares on YouTube. Don't get a lot of shares on Twitter. But it don't matter, because when a brother Otis comes up, he ain't gonna share no goofy shit. The elder, if he shares your shit, you must be on something. You must be doing something right. And I just hit 3 hours. We've been in this thing for 3 hours because we've been cooking. We've been cooking just like Kai Stone been cooking. Kai Stone got smothered chicken and mashed potatoes and greens over there, you know. But we've had some true soul food up in here today, because it was folks, not in their feelings, but flexing. They was flexing. We've been in here flexing. I'm gonna be a part of that. Y'all know I like to humble down. I don't take a whole lot of credit in this thing, but we was in here flexing, and we was getting it in on a spirit of not being combative. We wasn't, bickering, backbiting, infighting. We was doing our thing. And this stream is actually almost done, and I'm actually encouraged to see how it actually ended. I can't remember how the stream ended. So we about to find out, because we only got 13 more minutes left, and I think there was a couple more profound situations that happened, and then we're gonna drop it.
They would never have gotten $800,000 minimal or $1.3 million. So in the beginning, there was absolutely no budget that was needed. We never asked them for a budget. Gabe kept saying that we had to create a budget. So finally I said, okay, well, let's see this budget. He said, I'm going to do the template to it. Let me see what you think. He did. He did a template with all the different titles. Okay, that looks nice. Then we sat on a Zoom call, and he plugged in the numbers. But what we were meeting about, and this is what I said to them, and neither of them can answer the question. If you're meeting with my people here in Boston, and we're a team, and if you think you're meeting about an RFP, how come you never talked to her about an RFP? And how come you never talked to her about the budget? The budget was never the issue. That's why it's fake and felonious, and I say fictitious. We never talked about a budget in the 2 meetings that everybody was involved in. Money wasn't on wasn't a topic. We hadn't even gotten there yet. So if they're so much experts and this is what we do, how do you put experts sit in 2 meetings with somebody to talk about what they want you to do in your community? How would you do that? Give us some background on you, tell us some of the work that you've done, and you never discuss the RFP. You never discuss this fictitious budget that you created way before the meeting. So no, I'm sorry to tell you, it was never about having the discrepancy about the budget. We laughed at the budget and still do.
So I want to repeat this. I'm going to say it slowly. So you guys had a conversation where Gabe put together some numbers and said, hey, let's create a budget and throw the numbers inside the document. The document gets created. And from what I heard in that last space is it was shared with Miss Rose, and then Miss Rose shared it with Morgan, and Morgan leaked it, which caused this whole Twitter situation, right?
No, that's not what you heard. And I'm surprised that you didn't hear what I said or what she said. Miss Morgan contacted me about a conversation that already had been circulated. Miss Rose called her and told her that she's upset about the money grift and the integrity of what was going on, which led me to believe that she had a conversation with somebody else about the budget. Okay. The budget was never released in a paper format or email format to Miss Rose. When I talked to Miss Rose tells me, she said, girl, what's going on? What is all this stuff I'm hearing about this $1.3 million budget? I'm like, what do you know? She said, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's a grip. And so we had a conversation. Okay. I never sent Miss Rose anything at that point. Okay. When Morgan called, I'm going to give you the dates. Morgan contacted me on August 18th. Miss Rose talked to Morgan on August 12th. When Miss Rose talked to Morgan, Morgan already knew about the budget and already knew what the numbers were, which means that Morgan was talking to somebody in Chicago. That's what Miss Rose said on the space last night. She said she mentioned it 3 times that she already knew about the budget and she had seen it.
Morgan,
and you have to listen to what the woman's saying. She's not going to lie. She said that she leaked it. She leaked it out of frustration by venting to Morgan about the bullshit. Excuse me. That's what she says that was going on. So that's what I'm saying. If the source tells you and admits, wait a minute, and admits that she leaked it.
So you heard, you get this clear. Rose said in that space, out of frustration, I shared it. Because she just said I shared it with Morgan.
She shared the information.
She said thinking
it's a conversation.
Right.
No,
thinking
that person.
Okay, listen.
Okay.
It's recorded. And this is what I heard her say. Yep. She said, thinking that person, she could confide in that person. And that is not what happened. That person took the information and then that person leaked it.
It was a conversation. And she also verified the fact that she never seen the budget until she contacted me to apologize and said, I'm sorry. I leaked the conversation, the information about what's going on to Morgan. And I said, well, let's sit down and go through this. To be transparent, I'm going to send you everything that we've been talking about. This is after Naheem's spaces. This is after it was already leaked. So Ms. Rose, and I have it in my phone, I have a screenshot. She didn't receive the screenshot of the budget from me until August 28th. She said that in the spaces. You all keep talking about she's leaked it. She didn't leak the actual document. She leaked the conversation. That's what she's saying. I heard her say that myself. And I heard her say she didn't get anything from me with regards to the budget until August 28th. She also said, when I talked to Morgan, she said, I realized, she said 3 times, I've already seen the budget. I already knew about it. That's what she said. So you can go back and listen to it. But this is the point I'm trying to raise. You all people are so fixated on the little things. The bigger thing is, why would somebody from another state want 6 figures to sit on the phone and talk to somebody in another state and tell them how to run business in their state? Let's look at the numbers. Let's look at the intent. Because I was sitting last night, because this has been going on from that team to semantics. Well, Antonia, you approved the template. Yes, I did. The template is a shell. That's what a template is. The layout. Yes, I did approve the layout. The layout is a shell. I had all my team available on the phone, on the spaces last night to confirm there was no numbers in the spreadsheet until we were all sitting on the phone, and it was Gabe who proposed those numbers and plugged them in. So why aren't we talking about that? Why aren't we talking about the original intent for another grassroots organization to money bag off of another organization because they asked to help? And I'm going to confirm something. I didn't know how to put the PowerPoint together, and that's what they helped on. I didn't need help with a budget because I wasn't being asked for a budget. I asked for help to put together the introductory PowerPoint slide deck, and that's exactly what we did. We sent everything to Gabe. Cynthia offered to help, and they meshed it together. I never asked for help for a budget because nobody wanted to see a budget. Nobody asked for a budget. And to be perfectly honest with you, everything I'm saying makes sense. The final RFP just got released on Monday. So now people can put their proposals together and put together a budget and submit it. Why would I ask you to do a budget for something that didn't even exist?
So right there was the conversation that I had been looking for to find out. And then talking to Sister Antonia on the back channels about things, about individual specific things, I was able to catch up on everything. Once I listened to the material, talked to Sister Antonia, heard her explanation here, it brought it all into full perspective for me. Then it made me understand why them clowns came at me on their stream. You know, I mean, really tried to like gang up on me, like I was like I was gonna punk out and shit. They didn't know who the fuck they were dealing with. That was the thing. They really had never talked to me in one of their spaces. But then they brought me on and they were disrespectful. And hopefully these bitches are looking at it on Twitter, because I know they hang out on Twitter. So hopefully these bitches are looking at it on Twitter. Y'all had your opportunity to be respectful to me. I'm an elder to most of y'all. Most of y'all in there about what, 30s and 40s, right? I'm an elder to most of y'all. Y'all had an opportunity to really, really fuck with me. And I would have fucked with y'all. But y'all came at me disrespectful, as you do so many people out here. But see, I'm not the one, because I don't need you. I don't need you. Didn't want you. I was just there just to have some background noise when I was doing some editing that night. I was doing some editing and I already had the numbers in line, and I was just trying to, and I was like, let me get some background noise, and got on a Twitter space. Y'all asked me to take a mic. You asked me to take a mic so you could try to interrogate me. I'm 53 years old. I got 53, almost 54 calendars under my belt. You're not going to rattle me. I don't look at a Twitter space as an interrogation room. I look at it as a playroom. I have looked at it as a workroom, but for the most part, it's a playroom. And y'all tried to chop me down when you really didn't even know what type of tree you was dealing with. Now you know what type of tree you dealing with. And you can't chop this tree down. Ain't nobody been able to chop this tree down. So I ain't gonna let you little whippersnappers chop it down either. Y'all ain't got enough calendars in the game. Y'all ain't got enough experience in the game. And to be talking about me, talking to another person, get out your fucking feelings. Don't worry about who I'm talking to. Worry about whether I'm talking to you or not, bitch. That's what you need to worry about. Worry about whether I talk to you or not. Don't worry about who else I talk to. Don't worry about whether I talk to Naheem, Ali, Josh, Ibrahim, Brother Fearless, any of the Be the Power people. Don't worry about whether I talk to Sister Antonia. Don't worry about whether I talk to Gabriel Piamonte. Don't worry about whether I talk to Marlon Watson, or whether I talk to Arthur Ward, Cynthia McDonald, anybody. Because they don't have no axe to grind with me, and I ain't got no axe to grind with them. They might not never work together again. But I said, for us to all get to the promised land, I think we all gonna have to come back to the table at some point. And maybe we just got to put a couple more leaves in the table just to keep people further apart. But if we all on the same side and we all looking for reparations, then we all gonna have to come back to the table at some point. We got too much in the game. We got too much in the game now to separate now. What we gonna do? Go separate and get with in Cobra? Get with Narc? Start fucking around with the Urban League, with Mark Morial? I don't think so. I think what we need to do is we need to figure it out down the line, and we figure out how to circle our wagons and circle back. That's what we need to do. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let this finish because we only got a couple more minutes in it, and I think there was a response here. Let me make sure that there's a response. I want to let that definitely finish. And like I said, I'm so interested to figure out how this.
And I think that people were listening to, oh, there's an RFP down the line. Let's jump on that. Let's secure that. And Gabe said that. He said we would have never known what was in the RFP. So we're like, let's get started. Let's do it. Let's get our stuff done in advance so that we can be prepared when the RFP comes out. He said that. So for some reason, and me and you have always talked before, never had a problem, but I'm kind of getting insulted with the fact that you're trying to tell me that the woman who leaked it admitted that she leaked it, not once, but twice, and you're still holding me responsible for how it got out. It was never, wait, I'm not done yet. But I'm not done yet. It was not a leak of a document. It was a leak of a conversation.
I don't have a problem with you, Stilettos, and that's not the issue.
Hold on. I know you called, but when y'all go back and forth, I don't know. Everybody miss your mic. Somebody got the jankiest mic in the world. And when we do get our reparations, I'm buying you a new phone. Hold on a second. See, that's you, Rella. You got the janky phone. Either you on that Bluetooth or you got to reset your phone. But y'all can't talk over each other because we can't hear shit. That's all I know. So one person talk, then the next person do. We hold your talking points, then the next person go. Go ahead.
And she was talking, I wasn't finished talking and she was talking over me. What I'm saying to her is, for some reason, if you listen to the spaces, and we're talking about this at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, something stuck in your craw where you're trying to make me justify how the person leaked it and where they got it from. I'm not Inspector Caruso Colombo. It's not my job to answer to or find out who Miss Rose got it from. I can, if the person gets on the spaces in front of the people and say, yes, I did leak it. I didn't get any document from Antonia until August 28th. This is weeks after she talked to Morgan. She talked to Morgan on August 12th. She said all this. So if it's not something that's stuck in your craw, why are we talking about this at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning? Everything's in the spaces. I never gave Miss Rose a document when she had the initial conversation with me. I purposely didn't do that. What I did do was when Morgan called me on August 18th and told me about the Cam Howard stuff with Naheem in California and that I should kick him off because they're grifters and so is it Chicago, whatever. I did say, how did you get this information about the budget? She said, Miss Rose. I said, oh, Miss Rose told you about it? She said, yes. And she's absolutely right. Me and Rose did have a conversation about the back and forth because Miss Rose called me to ask me about it, but I never released any document to her. So we're talking about conversations. We're not talking about documents. And that's what I don't understand, what people don't understand. She clearly said that. I never released a document to Miss Rose prior to me speaking with her when she apologized to me, and I put everything in perspective for her. And I'll stand on my grandmother's grave with that. And she said it last night. So you guys are looking for who leaked the document. The document is secondary to who leaked the conversation. There were conversations prior to the document being released.
So I'm gonna say I understand that, and I heard you say that. All I was repeating was that Miss Rose in the space said that she got the screenshot and she sent the email from her phone to Arthur, and she said that she shared that she also said that out of frustration she shared the information with Morgan, and she
okay.
said,
So can I just stop you right there? She said that she got the screenshot on August 28th.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I talked to Morgan on August 12th. Please go back and listen to it.
Okay.
You have it mixed up. She talked to Morgan on August 12th, and out of frustration, she vented to Morgan. She said, I never seen a document, nor did I receive the screenshot from Antonia until August 28th, when she said, let's sit down and be transparent. So I will pay you $100 right now to go listen to it, and you'll hear what everybody else heard.
You don't have to, but I'm saying, okay. All I'm saying is that I don't think it's for, like, I'm gonna say this again. It just sounds like it was a lot of miscommunication from whatever was going on behind the scenes. And yes, there is an issue. If there is an out of budget now, I guess, as you were saying, that the RFP is opened up, that you would submit a budget that high that would actually be more than what the Boston is actually looking to get people to submit. So I agree with that. And at the end of the day, all I'm saying is that hopefully the work can still go on. Even like you said, if you're not going to deal with them, which it sounds like you're not. And then the other piece of it is that it doesn't mean that people are grifters because they are looking for money to be made in regards to them doing the work that they do. You just not working with them because it doesn't make any sense for them to collect money outside of a budget that's money that's outside of a budget from another state, as you mentioned, and let that be it.
Okay, but I guess what I'm saying to you is they always knew that it was out of budget. My mayor announced in December that she was going to put $1 million up for the reparation bill. That was no fact. And if you listen to what they're saying,
I'm gonna see what happens.
they're saying that basically she needs to boost up the budget.
I literally don't know what happened at the end of this space. And right now there's only 23 seconds. I'm just letting you know. There's only 23 seconds left in this space. So it didn't get brought down the way a space normally ends. So it must have ended abruptly. And who knows, I could have been actually using the restroom or anything. Like right now, it's like 5 o'clock, almost 5:30. I'm like literally just about to start cooking Kai's breakfast. And so I was probably up just maneuvering around and seeing what was going on. And, you know, it was just one of them things. So it's about to end. And then as soon as it ends, I'm going to jump right back up on here because it's been a great build with this space, almost 3.5 hours in here. I know I ain't going to have nobody unless they've been here already listening to this thing. But the build was great. The build was great. And I know I didn't really give 3 hours worth of the space, but what I did was I ad-libbed and cut it off so I can articulate what was going on, because I know it might be a little mundane listening to just the space. So I tried to interject, you know, myself into it and keep everybody, you know, popping. I appreciate you, Kai Stone, Dr. Cynthia, anybody else that had came through. Who else? We had somebody else in here who was rocking with us. Oh, brother Emmanuel. You know, y'all was all active in the chat. I appreciate y'all. I know Brother Prime was on it. He actually hit it up on Twitter, shared it on Twitter. So I appreciate Brother Prime doing that. But let's get this last 20 some odd seconds in, and then I'm just going to draw this to a close, because that's what, like I said, this space was really about, this Twitter space. And then we'll go from there. We'll rock out.
To accommodate their $1.3 million. And that's what they were saying to me. They wanted to contact my man, Mr. Arthur.
Yeah, I heard you.
Gabe went behind my back and he contacted my contact. And for what, I don't know. So for instance, if I work with you, I'm not calling your contact.
And that's it right there. It's over. And she didn't end the space. Somebody else had to end the space. So I'm thinking that News Totter or WPI lost their signal somehow, and the space just got cut. So whatever the case, don't matter to me. I just didn't hear it end. And when I picked my headphones back up or something, it was actually gone. So that's really what that was, man. That was a space. That space ended up being 6 hours and 10 minutes long. I was in it probably for about 3 hours, and you heard me for about 2 hours on it, just on this stream alone. So, you know, that was crazy. Appreciate you, Kai Stone. Said that build was fire and the interjections were right on point. Wasn't too much. Keep it up, brother. And thank you for your time always. Thank you, sis. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support. You know, I appreciate you always being there when you can be there. And when you're here, you're here. You know, you're in the chat room. You're doing the damn thing. You know, today I had you in the chat room and you was in the kitchen. So when you can be in the chat and switch in the kitchen at the same time, you already know where I'm at. You already know. So I appreciate you, because this has been a ridiculous space. You know, I set out to have this space to be about, you know, a little bit of education. You know, I wanted to say, you know, hey, what is a Twitter space? You know, educational, political, intuitive, combative, engaging, off-putting, uplifting, all of that. That's what Twitter spaces should be. But sometimes they just get so out of pocket with the stuff and they don't really be on their shit. And so, you know, they don't even be any of these things. Sometimes it just be nonsense. Sometimes it just be nonsense. It don't be educational. It don't be intuitive. It don't be building. It don't be political, engaging, competitive, off-putting. Might be off-putting. It might be off-putting, but, you know, it definitely don't be uplifting. So I definitely wanted to bring that up, you know, and make sure that everybody was right where I was in this spirit, you know, because I be on some different stuff. I know I don't be really having y'all at first, and then y'all figure it out, be like, oh, okay, I see where brother's at today. You know, I might start up, but I told you it's that boomerang game. I got that boomerang game. I might send that message way out there. Just send it way out there. They've been calling me a race baiter on this college football page all day. So maybe I'm a baiter. I send my reel out there. Boom, with the bait way out there. Just cast my reel way out there. But then I just slowly I reel it back in. And by the time I reel the message back in, then I got a little school of fish. Not really. It'd be like 2 or 3 of y'all. You know, y'all be in here, but I know y'all piranhas. Y'all ain't no guppies. You know what I'm saying? Y'all piranhas. Y'all sharks. You know what I'm saying? So I got to bring what I got to bring to the table. And this what I thought was a stream that I really felt I needed, because I'm gonna be able to break some of this down and put it on TikTok and make it into smaller spaces and stuff like that. But for people that were here the whole time, like you, Kai Stone, shit, you just got to build the way I got to build, because I truly hadn't listened to it in its entirety since I was on it. I heard bits and pieces of it, but once I knew that the build was the build, I reached out to DJ Szechuan, and then I told him to reach out to News Totter, because I was gonna be grifting their shit. I was like, I'm gonna make a whole stream of it. He's like, man, do your thing. Spit your bars. So once he said spit your bars, I already know what that means. He gave me the green light on that shit. So I'm gonna get the green light going, and so I can get ready to get on up out of here. But before I do that, I would be remiss. Because we here with it. But we really need to be here with it. So I gotta say happy brother to my brother Nate. I'm sorry, Nat, not Nate. Who's Nate? Whew. I only know one Nate. Well, I know a couple of Nates, but the one Nate that I would have been thinking of, it wouldn't have been, I would never say happy birthday to that motherfucker. But anyways, Nat. If anybody knows anything about Nat Turner, you know we need to be toasting this brother today. We need to be toasting this brother every day. Nat Turner is us, and we're Nat Turner. And with that being said, I ain't got nothing else to say. But Kai Stone, I appreciate you, because you've been here till the end with it, sis. To the end with it. Dr. Cynthia, I don't know if you're still by the handle or not, but Brother Emmanuel, I know you hard at work. Anybody else has been in this thing off and on, more on than off. I appreciate you. I'm gonna cook Free's ass, because she never even made it into the chat today, but that's okay. She must be on some other business. Maybe she's doing some recon work right now, but I'm definitely gonna check her ass, because she missed an incredible build. But I might be back here later tonight. I got something else I need to get off my chest, so I might be back here later tonight. Brother Kai Stone, you enjoy that beautiful dinner that you put together for the family: smothered chicken, mashed potatoes, and some greens. Now tell me, Sister Kai. All right, look, are your potatoes a little lumpy? They're a little lumpy. They're real potatoes, or you do instants? I mean, if you do the Instamatics, I don't mind. But you know, if you do the real potatoes where they got a little clump in them, got a little lump in them, I need to know what you got going on with the potatoes. Just before we get off here, I need to know what you got going on with them potatoes. Because if them potatoes got a little lumps in them, and I already know you done some greens, man, you might have to put some on dry ice for a brother, you know, and send that plate out. Because, you know, I'm a sucker for some lumpy potatoes and some seasoned greens. No pork, please. I don't need no fat back. I don't need no strickling, no salt pork, bacon. I don't need none of that in my greens, you know. So you do turkey. I can probably move a little ground turkey or even like some turkey neck or something. I can move that to the side, you know. But I can't mess with the swine no more. I don't want it in my system. No way, no how. But yes, beautiful build today. Brother Nat Turner, it's his birthday. It's your birthday. So we're gonna celebrate on the way out. What you say? Real potatoes only with the little lumps and the little, oh man. See, look, now I'm hungry. Uh-oh, we might be able to do a DoorDash, do a Grubhub. I don't know what the fee would be. But yeah, I would tip them. I'd make sure I tip them. I'd get my greens, get my mashed potatoes, and I'd have to get that driver a tip. I can't even lie. So, you know, we're gonna get on up out of here. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna actually get on up out of here and do something wrong. But shout out to my man DJ Szechuan. Make sure y'all check out Mighty Networks. The social site is inside of Mighty Networks. That's where we heading. We heading to social, okay? SOXCIAL. But download Mighty Networks on your phone and then open that up. But yes, we definitely closing with Nat Turner's birthday. But I had to let people know about social because they messing with me right now, y'all. They messing with me. So I'm gonna be dropping more content over there. We've been live the whole time over there. So we'll see where it all hashes out at the end. And I know DJ Sejuan is over there moving it around. So it's a beautiful thing. Well, boy, you said you had some potatoes with the lumps in them. Man, we got to go out with Brother Nat, though. We'll leave with Brother Nat. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And what we gonna do? We break a little code. I mean, what they got to understand is I ain't trying to steal nothing, and I hope this brother gets it all together because I know he's going through some things right now, just breaking up with his wife, about to have to leave his new baby for a little time. I think he filing for full custody, though. They say he want custody of the baby. Ooh, a black man taking a baby from an Asian woman? Jeezy said, I want my baby now. Y'all be good. Appreciate you. Villager on deck. Fair use. Fair use. Fair use, motherfucker. Fair use, motherfucker. Fair use. Fair use. Hey. Hey. Happy birthday, Nat. We love you.